Do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are now listening to the Petty Sports, the podcast brought to you by Kingz Broadcasting Studios. It's your boy, the host, Mr. Famous Facts, Feez. We one man short today, but it's me and my main man, Adam. Holla at him.
You already know what's going on, people. We're in for a hell of a show tonight. Shout out to Mike and Gary, as always, team keeping us together. Feez, we got a lot on the slate tonight, man. Let's go ahead and let them know what's going on.
Oh, we got a whole lot on the slate, man. We got a crazy weekend of NFL free agency. I know y'all been looking. Your Twitters, your Facebooks, all your notifications, everything been going crazy. We got NCAA March Madness cranking up tomorrow. Man, it's a whole lot going on. There's some boxing action. There's a whole lot of NBA going on all day, every day. It's action-packed. You know what we got. It's all day. It's every day. It's St. Patty's Day.
Man.
So just like what I've been doing all day, if you've been following me on all my social medias, cheers for St.
Yes,
Patty's.
sir. Cheers, brother, to a hell of a show, to this great whiskey
Jameson
we got
all
here.
Day, baby.
Hey, this is fantastic, man. This is my first time ever having this. This is great. Cooper's Cove. Y'all need to get on this. Seriously, it's good. It's better than any Jameson I've had. I appreciate you.
Matter of fact, yes, that's what it is. Hey, Jameson, we looking for that sponsorship.
You know they see us, bro. You know they see us.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it is.
Yes, sir. It's bad. Just like we've been trying to tell y'all, it's about that time. I got a whole lot of things that I got to share with you. And, hey, the NFL has been great to me. I love this. But I'd be remiss if we start the show without paying homage to the late, great, marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Got to.
Died at the age of 66, which has been reported of natural causes, which we've also heard, which may not have been, but
you know how things are today, man.
That's a story for another day. I mean, they say Tommy Hearns said that he was battling with not COVID symptoms, he got the vaccine.
Right.
And then was battling post-vaccine symptoms, and since then they've retracted that. Right,
I've heard of like the sore arm, but that's I haven't heard of anything from what I've heard of, But I mean, anyway, R.I.P. to great, anyways, man. It's tough to have him leave us.
And I've heard a lot of stories about stuff happening post-vaccine. I mean, there's not like the percentage of how many people that happens to compared to how many people get it is like minuscule, but
right.
It's still a big number. It's just not big compared to how many people have had it.
Right.
So, I mean, we don't know what it is. They're saying it's not. Some are saying it is. We won't know because they clearly won't tell us.
We'll never get the truth from the media, man. But that's why we're here to keep it real.
They don't like to do that. Nah, but, just to get back to Marvelous Marvin, we got to highlight his career.
Have to. In
lieu of all of that other nonsense, because we won't ever get the real facts on that. That man was a professional boxer from 1973 to 1987. Finished with a record of 62-3-2 with 52 knockouts.
Ooh,
he only fought 10 times where he didn't drop his opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was only dropped once in his career, one career knockdown.
One knockdown, and that was disputed.
Yeah, they were like, did it really happen? So, we're talking about a guy that never actually went down in the ring, bro.
It's like a glove to the ground knockdown where it's like, eh.
Yeah, was he really down? Like, are we really gonna Yeah, we'll lift it for him. I think I will, anyways.
Yeah, man. I mean, the dude spent 6 years as the undisputed middleweight champion.
Yeah.
12 title defenses.
Yeah, that really stood out to me because I'm not really into boxing a whole lot in UFC, but I keep up with it. But to hear someone that actually defends their title 12 times in a span of 7 years, or I really think 6.5, that's 2 title bouts a year. And if I'm thinking of it correctly, that's probably every fight that it was, or maybe every other fight, So, I mean, to have that confidence, to have that will, to know that my belt is on the line and I'm going to defend it, that definitely speaks to what his career was. But you mentioned the knockouts, and I believe he has the highest knockout percentage, if I'm not mistaken, close to like a
78.
That's ridiculous. I mean, do you even really hear of boxers having knockout percentages like that? And speaking of a guy that he did box, there was who was it, the Mugabe fight? He was 26-0, 26 knockouts, a guy that was just strictly a knockout artist. And the fact that he was able to come into that fight, such a hell of a fight too, and finish it off. I want to say it was the 11th round, and he kind of got some criticism because people were thinking he was fading back, not necessarily sticking to the old, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Which, real quick, is it true that he changed his name to actually Marvelous Marvin Hagler because someone, I guess, disrespected his announcement? Is that true?
He changed his name to Marvelous Marvin because they would not acknowledge him as Marvelous Marvin, like the announcers.
I demand recognition like that.
He's like, oh, y'all don't want to call me Marvelous? I'm about to make that my legal name.
Right.
He literally did that. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Yeah, his career was definitely one to look back on him. When I was able to watch some of his tapes today, before we were able to get on the show, man, his chin realistically was one of the craziest. Like I was just mentioning the Sugar Ray fight, and I'm sure we'll allude a little more into that. But just something off the top about that fight is the fact that his chin was so strong. I mean, he was literally taking flurry after flurry after flurry from Sugar Ray, and this dude's chin literally was, I mean, was it even touchable? We're talking about the disputed knockdown. You want to put the chin into the factor like, okay, that's not a knockdown if this guy is really out here competing like this. So the way he was able to hang in the ring and just, like I was saying, I don't know what was crazier about that fight. Was Sugar Ray continuing to be able to throw flurries that late, or if it was literally Marvin just continuing to eat them in the jaw, on the chin, in the face, and just not slowing down. I mean, hell of a fight for his career, man. Hats off to him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was crazy. I mean, it's just the notable wins. I mean, we just talked about the Sugar Ray Leonard fight, which was questionable, and the John Mugabe. I mean, he knocked out Tommy Hearns.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy the Hitman in the third round.
Hitman Hearns.
They had to stop it. I mean, it was a brutal fight. I mean, most folks remember that as like the most brutal 3 rounds in boxing history. They both just came out swinging. They look like when you watch the flyweights fight and they just swing the whole fight, or like if you watch a women's boxing match, because that usually is the appeal. When you watch a women's fight, they don't really play defense. They just come out and swing.
Right.
Everybody getting hit. They swinging is action-packed.
Yeah,
and it's like that in boxing and UFC. Doesn't matter.
Right.
They just swinging. It's like it's highly entertaining. But this was a middleweight fight that was on that level of action.
Right.
I mean, he came out on top of it. So, I mean, like it's not a whole lot of there's no bad marks on him.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think one of the biggest things one of the things he faced earlier in his career was in his second title defense when he fought, I want to say it was a British man, and there was a quote caught from him that was saying, "No black man is going to take my title." And the fact that he come out and beat him in his corner, owned that L in the third round, like literally cut him up immediately as soon as the fight was getting into it, and he ended him quickly. So he was there, to show people early on, you're not going to be able to have this tough talk with me. I am going to demand my respect. You think you can talk like this to me because it's my second title defense, but in reality, he was the one tapped in the whole time, keeping to himself and just being on top of his game and studying his craft more than anyone, which is why he had a close to 80 knockout percentage. Why he was so dominant is in his career. So definitely rest in peace to one of the big legends, man. And the fight with Sugar Ray, like I said, was hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. It was unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we can't do anything but just rain praises on Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Definitely, we lost a great one. Regardless of what they come up with. I mean, I hate when they do the conspiracies and this or that long after the fact. It doesn't matter how it happened. He's gone.
Right.
Let's just pay homage to one of boxing's greatest middleweights.
Exactly, and just remember someone who was truly cemented in history and someone that we're always going to be able to sit here and be blessed to make content about. I mean, there's not, there's so many people that go through the game and so many people that are passed under the radar, and it's good that we have the chance to learn about who was such a legendary guy in the boxing community. So it was unfortunate that he left. But when you look back on such a career, absolutely insane. Like I said, will we ever see another chin? I don't know, man. I mean, that chin was invaluable. It was unmatched, I think, so far. There's someone out there, I'm sure, but that chin was It was intense. It was intense.
Oh, it was all the way live. So, man, definitely rest in peace, Marvis Margolin. Say Margus Margolin. All of that. Marvis Marvin. Marvelous Marvin. That's a tongue twister. The Jameson's getting to me already. It's all right.
We can use that for the practice.
We're going to move on to the topic of the hour, the topic of the day, the topic of free agency, the topic on my hat. Y'all know I was ready to talk about it. Y'all know I was ready to talk about it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You have now entered famous Feez's world of New England fantasies. Here we go.
Oh, my God.
Here we go, man.
Cam Newton. Cam. Oh, Cam. Signed a 1-year deal worth up to $14 million, really 13.6, but we say 14 to make it simple.
Up to, for y'all
to
start tripping.
return to the New England Patriots for one more season. Was this the best move for New England moving forward?
So I know you're going to hate me for the first part of the answer, but, I see things from all angles, man. I try to, Cam Newton is like a diamond right now. You're wondering if he's a true starting quarterback. You're wondering if he's really going to be your franchise guy to take you, whether it's a bridge or to the next level. I don't know if Cam is either one of those guys right now, but you got to examine the diamond from all angles. And so when you look at the side from no, because you had the third most cap space, correct? You had a lot of money to go spend. You could have made a move for a Russell Wilson, a Deshaun Watson, whoever it would be. Now, because you were, but I also like it as well because you bring in so many of the people around him, and you kind of owe one to Cam Newton as well, So I would say it's tough because, like I said, Cam, you're wondering because people have always said, okay, has he really just had one good MVP season? Has he really just been this guy that's been inconsistent a lot and has got this one season? Or are we going to give him like a Matt Stafford kind of padding and just slide him through knowing he's got this talent? But it's kind of tough on both ways, but I want to get your part on it first before we really dive into it, man. Tell me what you got on it.
I think this is absolutely the best move that New England could have made.
Yeah.
And despite the reasons that you may have said, just take a dive into that. Who the options were.
Right.
We could have stuck with Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer, who are both trash. We saw that.
Not
they
for
got
this
a
moment.
few samples over the course of last season,
Right.
where you really got to see them get their chance to actually shine.
Right.
Jarrett Stidham should not be an NFL quarterback. Brian Hoyer is a career
He was
backup.
good at Auburn, though. That's the thing. Jarrett Stidham was good at Auburn. He's
had
just
a
not
good
getting the
roster.
spotlight. Yeah.
It wasn't Jarrett Stidham. It was Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah,
that was him.
Yeah, that could be the issue in college, too.
We could have traded the entire franchise for Deshaun Watson, which was not worth it. You'd have had to give up every viable piece on defense and all your draft picks. And then what are you left with is Deshaun Watson and basically your Houston 2.0.
Right.
Like the situation would not improve. It would have been the same thing with Russell Wilson, probably worse. We wouldn't have had as much offense as what Seattle even had with Russ.
Right.
Because we'd had to give them the farm. That's why most teams, that's why no one has moved. There's only one team that offered that much, and Seattle still didn't go for it.
Right.
It would have been a dumb move. Bill Belichick is not going to do anything that's stupid. But we look at anyone outside of those two blockbuster moves, it could have been Ryan Fitzpatrick. He has a 6-game ceiling. Fitzmagic doesn't last that long. He'll give you 5-6 amazing games. You'd be like, oh, my God, he's so good. There's a reason why he's on his 9th NFL team.
And I'll tell you something right now, man, with Fitzmagic being on his 9th team, I think he could potentially be one of the top quarterbacks in that division just because of how bad it is. Like, you're going to have a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick because I think – a little side tangent. I think the move from Washington was valuable. I mean, I think that shows, hey, we want a guy that knows what's up because, yeah, this division might be awful. We're still here to win it. We can't move our divisions. We can't help that. So I like the move for Fitzpatrick. But
that's a good move for him to go there, but New England didn't need him.
Oh, no. Not
Marcus
the Patriots
Mariota.
Pass.
There were a bunch of rumors about Mariota. He's highly inconsistent.
Right.
He'll give you a good game here or there. I mean, he's
good college, good roster.
He doesn't even have the highs of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Right.
Mariota's just like, okay, he'll give you one game.
That's tough to
where
say,
he throws
but it's
4
so true.
touchdowns and runs for like 75, 80 yards, couple touchdowns. It's like, oh my God, now the next 5 games he's garbage.
Right.
Like we're not signing you for that. And then he had a price tag on him. Like, no. Jameis Winston throws too many picks. His level of maturity, I mean, I don't know.
He's a diamond too.
What he's actually going to progress into out of New Orleans, but he seems to fit their culture much better than what it is in New England.
Right.
He's not a Patriot player. I think he can be successful, but not in New England, not in the system, not with Belichick. He's absolutely nothing that needed to be there.
Yeah, someone has to take a big chance on him, and I mean, unfortunately, but fortunately, that's what the Saints have done. I think, I hate to always talk about potential because I feel like that's just so much driving force. Is obviously you have to have potential to be in the NFL, but eventually, when you're in the league for so long, you got to show something. And Jameis hasn't shown it. Like, he's shown the potential, but where's everything else? You know,
He has some juice. He doesn't fit in New England,
right?
I mean, we'll actually break down in depth to where he's at a little bit later on tonight,
right?
But Jimmy G, too injury prone.
Right.
We had Jimmy.
Yeah.
He played 2 games, he got hurt. Went to San Francisco, played 3 games, got hurt. Came back, did a full season, went to the Super Bowl. Next season, hurt. Mm-hmm. Why would anyone? I mean, he has a very expensive price tag, and his play when he's healthy it merited the price tag. He earned the contract, but he's not healthy enough. If we sign Jimmy Garoppolo, we'd effectively be starting Jarrett Stidham again.
Right.
Alex Smith, pretty much the same worries. He didn't get hurt last year, but nobody's confident. I mean, he's an amazing story that he's even playing, but nobody's betting their franchise on it, especially when we're coming off of a 7-9 season.
Right.
Brady just left.
Right.
Bill's got a lot to prove.
Bill's got a fire lit under his ass. I'll tell you that.
It's not going to work. So, I mean, you got Cam Newton.
Yep.
You brought him in last year. He started off on fire his first 3 games before he got COVID.
Yep.
Then he had to sit out, was not able to practice for 2 weeks, couldn't be with the team. Then the team started going down. But despite all that and all the opt-outs, he still ran this team to a 7-9 record in what was a rebuild year, which for a lot of teams, 7-9 is like, we weren't too bad.
Right.
It's like 7-9
Some
is your
teams are
worst
happy to go
season.
7-9.
It's like, hey, like that wasn't a catastrophic meltdown season to go 7-9.
Right.
When you take into consideration everything that actually happened. On top of the fact that Cam only got a $1 million contract with a bunch of incentives. Mm-hmm. And speaking of, let me break down what we actually offered him this year.
Right. Let the people know, because I was kind of tripping too, but we got the education. We're all ignorant sometimes, but look, it's okay. Take a step back and learn. Feez.
Cam Newton signed a contract worth up to $13.6 million. And let me explain to you how that's broken down. $3.5 million are guaranteed. Mm-hmm. $2 million signing bonus. Mm-hmm. Gets a $100,000 workout bonus, which is just for him showing up.
Are you serious?
Quick money, yeah.
Like, and it's like, we'll pay you 6 figures just for showing up.
Yeah.
Damn, I need that job.
Just for coming to work out.
I need that job.
That's for the season. $88,000 per game, active, just so long as he's active. That doesn't even mean he has to start and play the game. So long as he's listed as the active quarterback on the roster, he gets $88,000 per game.
Right.
For that.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays 60% of the snaps for the season, he gets an extra $500,000. If he plays 90% of the snaps, he gets an extra $1 million. It's like, you see, we're starting to climb up to this amount that's actually on the contract.
Performance-based incentives.
Yeah, the rest of them are playoff incentives. Mm-hmm. These incentives are for $500,000 each. 60% of regular snaps plus a playoff berth, that's $500,000. 70% and a playoff berth, that's another $500. 80%, another $500. 90%, another $500. Each of those percentages are saying that he plays that percentage of the team snaps and they make the playoffs. That's not saying that they win anything in January. It's just that he plays these percentage of the snaps for the team and they make the playoffs. I mean, that's a potential, that's 4 different levels there, $500,000 a piece. Easy math. $2 million right there.
Yep.
Another $500,000 each for each playoff win in which he plays 50% of the snaps.
Wow.
So if they go to the playoffs, every game they win, another $500,000.
Yep.
It's
in it for Cam and New England at that point, making that point there. It's in it for both of them.
If they win the Super Bowl and he plays 50% of the snaps, he gets $1.5 million.
They really did him a solid.
If he wins Super Bowl MVP, that's another $1 million.
Yeah.
If he makes the Pro Bowl, that's another $500,000. That's Pro Bowl on the original ballot, not made the Pro Bowl, but Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes decided that they don't want to play and they brought you on extra. No bonus for that.
Right.
Original ballot, Pro Bowl, $500,000. And if you make any of the All-Pro teams, not first team All-Pro, because that basically means you're MVP if you're first team All-Pro quarterback.
Yep.
If he makes any of the All-Pro teams, $500,000. I mean, that's a lot of incentives.
Yep.
Everything I know, that sounded like a mouthful. That's his entire contract.
Right.
He didn't get 13.6 to walk out on the field.
Nope. For everybody that's tripping out there.
$5 million to walk out on the field, and he's got to do a whole lot of things. Like, in order to get $13.6 million, he's got to win the Super Bowl MVP, and ball out. It's a lot. And hopefully he's going to get 13.6. That's going to be my number for the season.
That would be the ultimate top goal for you, man. But basically squeezing all that in.
Ain't that a 10K?
What's that?
13.6.
A 10K what?
10K. 13.6 miles.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on. Give me a second. I think we got the confirmation on that, though. But basically what that,
that number meant something to me. I'm like, where I know that, bro?
If Cam Newton's a bum, at the worst, you're going to pay him $5 million. If you miss the playoffs and he comes out there, even if he's your starter all season and you miss the playoffs, you're paying him $5 million. So for everyone out there that's freaking out about it, thinking that Cam got paid a lot of money, yeah, here's the way I was looking at it. I told Feez, before we got on the show today, it's really in it for both of them because they're preserving a couple years of Cam's career. And then also, if you think about it, $5 million for what Cam Newton really has, for potential, to tap into, that could seriously be a steal for New England because Cam Newton is, obviously on his best day, he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL. The guy's got knowledge. He can throw a football. We're just waiting to see that, which is why he's a diamond, which is why it's interesting, man. You got to see him from all angles to understand what Cam's really going to bring you this year, dude. But how about these free agent moves for New England? Y'all just, it's just out there.
The pockets are wide open. But before we even go there, just look at what Cam did. Everybody always just completely just trashes his season last year. We went 7-9. Cam was more accurate last year than he has been in his entire career. He was almost at 68%. I think it was right around 68, 69% completion percentage for the season.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of his most accurate passing seasons. He rushed for 12 touchdowns and threw for another 8. Everyone only just highlights the 8.
Right.
It's like he
20 total touchdowns still.
Yeah. He had 20 total touchdowns. He didn't have a bad season. He did what was asked of him because the offense was makeshift because everyone will acknowledge that the offense lacked weapons, and that's an understatement from hell.
Right. I do have to throw out that completion percentage just because it was kind of it's the shortage of the games. But I'm not going to take away from Cam Dibb because it wasn't still going 7-9.
He wasn't dinking and dunking. He was throwing.
Right.
His passes were accurate when he was able to throw them.
Yeah. Just no talent, man. And the fact that New England went out, and this is why, it alluded into my yes. I didn't even get to that part, But, for the part of it, yes, being a good deal for them is because they owed him another one. That season was so unprecedented, and when you just broke down the contract, it's not a terrible deal. And when you owe him another one because, like I mentioned, it was so unprecedented, he actually had to sit out time. You had players opt out. Everything was so different from the NFL last year, and I'm glad we got to be a part of it because now we're going to see, you compare it to the season before, you're going to see the season after, the salary cap. And NFL, not for long. And you look, boom, here goes your money. Not for long again. Now we're going to blow it up. Are we going to know what to do with the increased salary cap that might be coming? Are we going to know what to do with the 17th game? We got to see, guys. This is why I'm addicted to the NFL.
The whole thing's going to be crazy, but it's man, Cam absolutely did not bomb the season. He didn't play great, but he didn't play terrible.
Right.
Definitely not the way people are actually trying to hold him to the fire.
Right. And
now, is it not clear by all the moves that Bill made keeping Cam that they have confidence in him? We're going to come right back to this because I know y'all heard the alarm. It's 8:24 p.m. It's about that time.
I was about to cut you off, and we can't do it 2 weeks in a row. We can't miss it 2 weeks in a row.
I don't miss it. I already beat my daughter with the text message because I had it locked and loaded and ready to go.
I love it.
So, man, count us down. Give us a 3.
3, 2, 1.
Kobe.
Let's go, baby. R.I.P. to the Mamba.
Black Mamba.
R.I.P. It's one of the GOATs, man. I was thinking about the Jacoby Lakers this morning. That's just a great name. Like the great play was, I love the play, but then Jacoby, just so smooth. Maybe the smoothest duo in the history of the NBA, bro. Seriously, I love the Jacoby Lakers. Shaq, so dominant. I miss.
You called him Jacoby?
Yeah, the Jacoby Lakers. Yeah, absolutely. What else would you call them?
Okay.
The Shaq and nah, man, Shakobe. There you
I
go.
never heard anybody say that, but I'm like, all right, I can ride with it.
Hey, here we go. Now we're here. Now we have graduated now.
What? And I see Graham in the chat to my still no rings. Are you looking in your own trophy case?
Oh, is he? Oh, he's.
I mean, do I still have Falcon fans talking to me? Are you serious? Can I finish the segment?
Come on, guys.
Just listen to people who know football and how to win.
Y'all get to tune out of the chat.
Input.
I still got to be here till 10 o'clock. So whatever y'all start now, I have to put up with for the rest of the show. So please let us get into it some before we just pop this man off the bottom of the chair. I mean, come on, guys. As Falcons fans?
I mean, Cam has accomplished the same thing that any Falcon has. He won an MVP and took his team to the Super Bowl and lost.
Yep. At least he lost to Peyton Manning.
You ain't had no Heisman Trophy winners or no national champions at quarterback. Mike Vick ain't do none of that.
But what about that one time when you remember when the Kyle Shannon? Nah, sorry, Falcons.
We
fans.
almost. Stay in that corner over there.
Hey, y'all are loyal. Y'all are loyal though, but
to a fault. So Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots have just completely opened their pocketbook to all
of
the NFL free agents over the past 2 days. Since Monday, New England has signed 8 free agents, and I probably missed some just because I've been on air. If I check my Twitter right now, we probably signed somebody else. It's really ridiculous, and I'm loving it.
Shefty.
But, man, let's break this thing all the way down. We said New England had deficiencies on offense. They had no wide receivers, no tight ends, injuries on the line, and you blame Cam for all of it.
Where they at now, though?
So what did New England do?
Where they at now, though?
Sign free agent tight end Hunter Henry, free agent tight end Janu Smith, free agent wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Matt Judon at linebacker. Hold on, we didn't switch to the other side of the ball. It's getting ridiculous. Safety, Jalen Mills. Defensive tackle, Devon Godchild. Defensive end and defensive tackle hybrid. We got Henry Anderson. Re-signed left tackle Trent Brown from the Raiders, who was previously in New England, got the highest paid contract in NFL history for an offensive lineman, and now he's back. Because if you've seen Trent Brown, he's probably one of the biggest players to ever play in the NFL. The dude is massive. It's ridiculous. Signed another defensive end. Actually, we re-signed Deatrick Wise. We got back Devontae Hightower, or I just gave him a whole new name. It's Dante Hightower.
Devontae Hightower. The disrespect.
Oh, yeah, I fixed it. There ain't no disrespect. We love Hightower. He got the strip sack against Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Graham.
Ouch. Where you at, though?
Starting safety Patrick Chung is back. So, I mean, in addition to all these moves on offense, the defensive players that opted out are back. The defensive players that did play well last year are back. The team is going to look very different. So, I mean, with all these free agent signings as of late, because they're not done, but with all the signings, what are the expectations now for the Patriots in 2021?
Man, so when I first saw Bill spending all this money, the most money y'all have ever spent in free agency in the past decade. I mean, and you said y'all ain't even close to done. Y'all still got money to spend. You know how much you have left?
About $35 million left in cap space.
Jeez. Yeah, so y'all are definitely going to pick some more people up, but the first thing this told me is Bill Belichick has a fire lit under his ass. You know, he's always the quiet guy. Like, oh, yeah, we playing great and, we needed to do some more. Tom was, it was okay. Well, yeah, I mean, the defense was, we could have held onto the ball more and, it wasn't good. That's all we know from Belichick, you know what I'm saying? But he's heard the media.
He hit everything but we're on to the Cincinnati Bengals.
And, we're on to Cincinnati. So, yeah. But, Tom Brady leaving, He's already heard he's lost a divorce. Brady's got the ring. You know, Brady's already took the Belichick ring off. He's put Tampa's ring on. Like, he is happily remarried. He's got a few kids. They're staying for a while. They're not going to college for a minute. Like, that's how Brady feels now. Belichick is over there. My guys opted out. I'm 7-9. You know, everyone's trying to crap on me, talk about, oh, you know, you got Cowherd. Oh, people said a while ago that we could win with a lot of other quarterbacks. And now, you know, you have this type of season. But you really got to pay attention. You know, it's going back to looking at the diamond. The Patriots and Belichick are a diamond. You have Cam coming out, showing you a little bit of the relationship, feeding into that signing. You know, Bill Belichick is the most underrated player in sports today. And I'd love to meet Belichick with all his mumbling at the podium and everything. I'd love to meet him because I guarantee you the dude is, obviously he's extremely smart. But, you know, with the fire lit underneath him, I'm going to say it right now, man. The divorce between him and Brady, that debate is not settled. That debate is not settled. And here's why. You cannot hold the COVID season. You cannot hold it to the fact that Cam was, you know, well, Cam had COVID, so it affected him. They had 8 players opting out. Like, that argument is not over yet because here comes Bill. Now we got cap space. Now I can get players. Y'all want to judge me when I can't sign people. Now y'all want to judge me when I can't bring players in. Now here they come. I'm bringing in potentially the best tight end duo, not the 2 best tight ends, but the way that Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are going to work together, that's going to serve purpose to the running game, the offensive line. I know I'm getting off into it, but Bill Belichick is pissed. The argument's not over. If the Patriots will make a run this year, and I confidently say that, and I'll tell anybody that, because how are you going to write off Belichick like that? That'd be like if we wrote off somebody like LeBron, or if we wrote off like Jordan at a certain point, or if we wrote off like, you know, Shaq, whoever it may be. You cannot take a great and write him off because he's using this as fuel. He's pissed now. He wants to come back and say, yeah, I heard y'all talking about me. Y'all think I'm just the mumbling guy at the podium, and I'm just going to sit here and I'm so defensive, and I'm not a good general manager, and I can't get wide receivers, and I can't bring this, and that in. Well, he just got some receivers. He's probably looking for more. He just got some tight ends.
They coming.
I mean, they're coming, bro. So I'm not going to lie. As much as I don't want to tell you this because I got to put up with you for another hour and a half, I'm kind of afraid of the Patriots next year. Like, the determination from Belichick and the fact that he has the chip. If you don't see the chip on Belichick's shoulder, like, you're blind. If you don't see the hunger and the determination, because he's hurt everybody. He's heard you now. It's kind of like LeBron with the Wash King. And I love this in sports. I love it when people want to go there and, oh yeah, LeBron the first year, you know, under 500 with the Lakers. He's done. First year out of the playoffs. Oh, really? What did he do the year after? Won the finals and crushed everybody in the playoffs within 5 games. Yeah, he had 4 years off of his legs, but whatever. He still did it. Don't write off legends. Belichick is, I guess he's the greatest coach of all time. If he does this, I mean, what else are you going to say?
I mean, he already is, but
that's my point on it, man. The argument, the divorce, it's still going. They're still filing paperwork, okay? Brady is getting child support right now from Bill, but Bill's about to get it back. You know, he's about to be tugging and pulling. So get ready for this offseason because I'm personally a little afraid of what the Patriots are going to be. I'm serious.
Brady got child support. Bill is getting alimony. So
there we go. That's what I needed. I was like, is that the right word? So appreciate you.
So for Patriot Nation, we present you Adam. We welcome him. You see, I didn't even have to say anything. I wanted to jump in. I was like, oh, okay, like I'll go with it.
In your defense, Tom Brady, well, not even in your defense really, but Tom Brady was my first NFL jersey. Tom Brady was the first NFL player that I actually liked. I enjoyed watching him in the game. You know, I got his Reebok jersey, man, in 5th grade. Shout out to my mom if you're watching this. You were the GOAT. That was like the best Christmas present. And she was like, look what I found in the mailbox. I was like, oh yeah, that's where you found it, huh? So, but yeah, man, Brady was my first jersey. So I've always got a little love for him. And to see what he's done now, because I got his jersey back in, here's a perspective for you. I got his jersey when it was made by Reebok back in 2005. So Tom Brady had what? 1 Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowl? Okay, 3 stats. I know you got to correct me. Now he's got 7 in pursuit of number 8. I want to ask you, man, just real quick. Do you really think Brady, I'm convinced. Do you think he can win 10? No, I know it's 3 more. But he can win 10, dude. I
think 10 is a little out there.
Tom Brady can win 10 Super Bowls.
8 is almost an absolute, but 10 is a little bit too much.
Okay, will you go 9? 2 more.
9 is possible. I think 10 just might be too much. He'd have to play a little bit too long.
Okay.
It's not like he's going to win 4 in a row.
Or negotiating live here. I'll come down 10.
He's not going to win 4 in a row. That's ridiculous. He never did that, even with New England.
Oh, like being in the 4 straight appearances and winning?
No, like actually winning them all. I mean, he went to 3 in a row recently.
Right.
And what, 4 Super Bowls in 5 years. Just in the past 5 years, he's been to 4 of them. But winning 4 in a row, I mean, that's beyond unprecedented. Nobody's ever even done 3 in a row.
9. Y'all see that? 8:35, March 17th, 2021. Gary, Mike, y'all got it? Tom Brady will win 9 Super Bowls.
I mean, that's
I will
very
come down
possible.
from 10.
But
He's winning 9.
We're not talking about Tom Brady. This is a Patriots topic.
I'm sorry. Toxic.
Let Tom Brady be over there. He's in Tampa. So check it out. The expectations for the Patriots this season.
Feez? Did I pull some little Brady strings and I pull some little?
No, I mean, he's not my quarterback anymore. We appreciate him for all of what he did, but he's not a quarterback anymore. We got Cam now.
Respect.
So we looking at this thing. What are the expectations for the upcoming 2021 season for the Patriots? I think the expectations are tiered from who you ask. From Patriot fans, the expectations are Super Bowl. From
that's the ceiling is a Super Bowl appearance. I definitely
let's say
so.
Expectations from Patriot fans, Super Bowl. From anyone else just looking at the moves and seeing what the roster is, the expectation should realistically be either winning the division or contending for it and having a record as such to get that 5th seed, first wild card in, and make it a deep run, at least divisional round, if not AFC championship game.
Right.
If you go 2-3 games deep into the playoffs with 11 to 12 wins, that's a great year.
Yep.
I mean, normally we're like, hey, if we don't win the Super Bowl, the season sucked. 2019, we went 12-4, lost in the first round like trash. Most fans would be like, they would kill for their team to be 12-4 and make the playoffs.
Exactly.
And be like, oh, well, it didn't work out. We lost in the last game. It's like, no. Like, that season was a failure because we didn't go to the Super Bowl and we didn't win it.
That's a mentality to have, man.
That's how we feel about it. So
that's why the NFL's
for
toxic.
Patriot fans, expectations, Super Bowl.
Right.
Anyone else, I would say 12-4. But I can dig even deeper into that for you. Last season with Cam, we went 7-9. Had the number 1 strength of schedule in the entire NFL. So they played the most difficult schedule in the league and still almost went 500 with it. With all of the things that we already have mentioned as far as players opting out and lack of weapons, defensive players gone, no defensive captain, Cam's first year, new team, no offseason, and now we're moving into year 2. This season, Patriots are ranked 19th in strength of schedule. It's come substantially down. Now we're in the bottom half of the league as far as strength of schedule.
Yep.
But we look at who they're actually playing. AFC South, NFC South. Other 2 games, Cleveland and the Chargers. If the 17th game gets approved, it'll be Dallas. So we look at the favored matchups. There's 9 of them. 9 games the Patriots should win, and they will be favored in all 9 of those. That's against the Jets twice, the Dolphins twice, Jacksonville, Houston, Carolina, Atlanta, and the Chargers. Patriots will be favored in all of those games. Then you've got 7 other matchups that are kind of toss-up. Tennessee, Indy, Tampa, New Orleans, Cleveland, and Buffalo 2 times.
Yep.
Even if they're to go 3-4 against the meat of the schedule, 3-4 in those 7 games, and you win the games you're supposed to win, that's 12-4. A 12-4 season will possibly win the division. We don't know how good Buffalo is. They went 13-3 last year. If they have a similar season to what they did last year and we don't beat them in the head-to-head, we could be 12-4. They could be 13-3. Buffalo could win the division, and that'll be a 5th seed.
They just signed Emmanuel Sanders, too.
So, like, they don't have to beat Buffalo to make the playoffs.
Right.
They don't have to win the division. All they have to do is win the games they're supposed to win and at least break somewhere close to even in the 50-50 games. So I think the expectation of winning 12 games is definitely not far-fetched, especially if there's a 17th game added to the schedule.
I agree with you. You look at the defense coming back. What's the word on Gilly? Is he like, do you know, like, is he still?
Gilly wants out of New England. There's no word as to whether they're actually going to trade him.
Why do you think he wants out?
Because of his contract. He's due more. He's not due as much money this season as what he wants.
Right.
He can get more money somewhere else.
Absolutely.
We don't have to deal him.
Yeah.
What I do think has happened, like, see, I can just let y'all know what it's gonna be. We haven't heard any rumors, but as of 4:00 today, the new NFL league year started. Now the trades will start to move.
Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. It's the only one that matters.
People are going to start making moves, like official moves. Everyone signed their contracts that we've been talking about for the past couple of days.
Yep.
What you are going to see in the coming weeks, the New England Patriots will trade Stephon Gilmore to the Cleveland Browns for Odell Beckham Jr. And a 3rd-round pick. Book that.
Got a source?
OBJ, the source is me.
Source, me.
I told Shefty. I'm Shefty's source.
Well, we're just going to train Gilmore over there and going to bring OBJ in. It was a good move. It was good for both parties, so we agreed on it.
Once that move happens, all of a sudden, Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar all of a sudden look even better because neither one of them has to have the task of being a number 1 wide receiver.
You'll have plenty of places for the ball. You won't have that pressure on Cam.
The pressure won't be on Cam. The pressure won't be on the receivers. All of a sudden, the tight ends have released pressure. The running game opens up. With OBJ in a Patriot uniform, the offense will be complete and dynamic. Cool. And what that also will do is open up the NFL draft for the Patriots to not have to actually draft for needs. They're just going to draft for the best available player. At 15, you could expect to see someone like a Travis Etienne available. Possibly,
oh, my goodness.
Possibly a Jalen Waddle.
Oh, wow.
There's countless players. Someone is dropping to 15.
Scared me saying Travis Etienne to New England. That was just like, seriously?
Could be Patrick Surtain. Could be Devontae Smith, according to some of these retards mock drafts, which I think would be insane if Jalen Smith dropped that far. But according to some of their mock drafts, he could drop that deep. So, it could be Surtain, could be Devontae Smith, could be Jamar Chase. There's so many players. It could be a Kyle Pitts. We don't need any tight ends, but hey, if he's there, it doesn't matter. They've got so much leeway with all of these pickups and all of this cap space. They can really just take the best player that's available in the draft.
Right.
If a Trey Lance is still there, get him. Let him sit behind Cam. He don't even have to play this year.
Right.
He can just go ahead and sit, watch Cam do his thing. Cam can ball out, beef up his stock, get a fat contract somewhere else next year, and we can bring in our next guy and be set for the next 15 years with a brand new quarterback.
Do you think y'all need to go defense?
There's really not needs.
I'm just going to say, man, because
defense was good already.
Exactly. With 8 players opting out, y'all still were 7th in points per game. Y'all were still a top passing defense. I think it was about middle of the pack for yards and rushing, but y'all... That's what I'm saying. That's the scary thing about the Patriots. It's if y'all are still able to make moves with what y'all were last year. I didn't look at the offensive stats, but I personally don't care. There were offenses that had full health last year and still didn't go 7-9. Yeah. Look at the damn Falcons. They're a top roster in the league, and they could not muster even 6 wins. Sorry, guys. Know everybody's watching, but it's facts. Coaching is awful.
It is what it is.
Bad, dude. It's what it is, how it is, dude.
As much as y'all are watching, y'all ain't gonna win a Super Bowl this year.
Y'all got Judon coming in too. God, dude. How do you Godcha? How do you say it? Gotcha. Okay. I know it's pushing. I had to get it right. Yeah. See, y'all got people moving, man. Y'all are gonna be scary next year. Y'all are gonna. How I was looking at the Colts last year. I know a lot of people are gonna be looking at New England, but I don't feel like people are really gonna think New England's gonna be they're gonna be there. I'll be betting on y'all this season for sure. Y'all are gonna be a good bet.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm excited to see it because that's what I love. I think that's my favorite part. I'm all for a legend just dominating, but that's why I love Adrian Peterson's comeback so much. 9 months after the knee, you're back on the field. You're contending for Eric Dickerson's single season rushing record. People said you were done. You weren't going to come back. People are saying Brady's a system quarterback. Now he's got the ring. People are saying Belichick is this, and that. It was all Brady. And now he's it's over, dude. I'm shooting the money. You want to come play for the Patriots? Hey, I've got cap space. And it's crazy because but before we go on, I know we got to move. Here's the thing. The Bucs used a super team method, and it actually worked. It kind of feels like the Patriots are not going super team, but if you're not at least a B-plus player, you're not coming to New England. They're getting some guys over there. People want to come play for Bill because he was a winner, just like people want to go play with Brady because he's a winner. There's not as much differences, or not as many differences, I guess, in the divorce. It's not over. Y'all heard it here first. It is not over.
All these moves push that matchup back.
Yeah.
Week 14. That's what I'm going to call it. We haven't had the schedule out.
Yep.
Week 14, Tampa Bay at New England.
Oh, and it's in Gillette.
Circle that.
Oh, boy.
It'll be Brady's first and only time playing against the Patriots outside of a Patriot uniform.
It's the only team he's never beaten in the NFL. It's the only team he's never beaten in the NFL.
He's beat 31 teams. This will be his chance to get all 32.
Yep. Wow.
It's going to be real.
Oh.
So, man, before we get out, when we come back off this break, we get into this March Madness. We got to give you a couple of little tidbits. It's going to be a Feez Factor Fiction segment. Then we're going to go ahead and tackle the brackets, the tournament, all the whole nine. I know y'all been waiting on it.
200 miles on the dash.
My man Mike Beasley, take this thing away.
Yeah, I don't think he's on.
Okay.
Low difficulties, but we're doing okay till they get back up. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We're literally everywhere. You can't miss us. If you find us on YouTube, just click the description. All the links are in there. We're on everything every Wednesday, 8 p.m., bringing you the takes, having a little difficulties. But, we're good. We're filling in because Mike and Gary always got us, so we always got Mike and Gary type thing. So just make sure to check us out, putting on the show tonight, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We're being able to build here with the new team. Jansen, if you're watching, man, I hope you're doing okay. Shout out to you. Control your driving. Sir. It's all love. Hope everything's going well. IG community, if you're watching from What Off Season Pod, appreciate y'all. If you're the OG petty sports community in here, appreciate y'all hopping in. This is a great show. We love putting it on for you guys. We're always here, man. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m., there's nothing like it. We're always bringing it for you, man. Always.
Oh, yeah. And without further ado, we're going to bring on the next edition of Feez Factor Fiction.
And I'm on the seat tonight.
For those of y'all who have not had the privy of hearing one of these segments, I'm going to hit my man Adam with 6 facts/questions about the NCAA tournament to test his knowledge.
Here we go.
And go ahead and build you up so you can go home and start to spit facts like you know what you're talking about.
Here we go.
So without further ado, question number 1.
No research in this, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea what questions are coming, just letting y'all know.
None. I didn't give him the questions.
So watch your little snarky comments over there. I see y'all.
All 4 number 1 seeds have never made the Final Four in the same NCAA tournament.
So Gonzaga, Illinois, Michigan, and is it Purdue?
Baylor.
Baylor, okay.
But not talking about this year. Saying in the history of the tournament.
Okay, gotcha.
Have all 4 number 1 seeds ever made the Final Four at the same time?
No, they have not.
That is incorrect. It happened once in 2008.
Of course it happened once.
2008. Kansas, North Carolina, UCLA, and Memphis.
Okay.
The 4 number 1 seeds all made the tournament. Kansas won that year.
I bet you that was a boring year. I bet you so many many people were mad because, wow, why did we pick the ones with them? We're like, oh, we're going to pick you had a lot of pissed off bettors that year,
you didn't pick any upsets and you were right.
Right. It's like, oh, here we go. Look, this is the 1 year. Yeah. All right, man, cool.
It happened one time. Question number 2. The NIT, also known as the National Invitation Tournament, was founded before the NCAA tournament.
Before the NCAA tournament. I'm going to say yeah.
It's true.
Yes. Not thinking too hard on it.
The NIT was founded in 1938. The NCAA tournament in 1939. The NIT just didn't catch on. Didn't have the level of popularity. So the NCAA tournament just took off and ran with it.
Yeah, I got that right. So we're on to question 3.
Okay.
We're on to question 3.
Question number 3. Christian Laettner is the NCAA tournament's all-time leading scorer. True or false?
Christian Laettner is the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. NCAA's all-time leading scorer. God, there's been so many great NCAA players. I don't even... y'all already know I don't have research in it. I don't even know who that is, so I'm going to say false.
Wow. You say you don't even know who that is.
I'm just being honest, man. Jesus. I'm just being upfront with you.
That is absolutely true.
Oh.
Christian Laettner is the NCAA tournament's all-time leading scorer with 407 points on 23 games. He's played more games
than
anyone.
Wow.
Just for reference.
NBA career?
No. Just NCAA tournament.
Right, but did he have an NBA career?
Yeah, he went to the league.
Okay. I'm going to have to do my research. Everybody blasting me. Yeah. Enjoy it. You ain't going to get it again.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Laettner played more NCAA tournament games than anyone. He only averaged 17.7 points per game. There are many players who average more points than that.
Yeah.
But for the big players like Kareem and Magic and all these folks that really went off in the NCAA tournament, that was a time before there were actually 64 teams, so there subsequently were not as many games. When Kareem was in the NCAA tournament, it was a 16-game tournament. So it was 4 games.
Wow. Now you got a boatload.
Yeah. I think no. Actually, it was only 8. It was 8 back then because he won 3 championships and he only played 12 games.
Huh.
It was an 8-team tournament. So they'd go Elite 8, Final 4, championship. Did that 3 times. That's only 9 games. Okay, so it was 16.
Ooh, crazy thought. Maybe that's why college football is doing it small and
I had to fix my own math.
Boom.
Yeah. So 16 teams in the field when the old time greats were in. The tournament expanded to a field of 64 in, I believe it was 1985.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why the players before then, which you see that pushes back from like the Michael Jordan college days back, none of them got the opportunity to play as many games as Christian Laettner did.
Okay.
That, on top of
I'm embarrassed.
Players going straight from college to pro and the one and dones, is why he's the all-time leading scorer. He's clearly not the best player to ever play in college.
Right.
But he played more tournament games than anyone. That's the way that I thought on.
But I should have known that because NBA players, like, it's not like it's the correlation's weird. Like major NBA players aren't from like major schools. Like they weren't busting it up in college. And you look back and it's like, oh yeah, that guy was balling. But yeah, I overthought that one. You got me there, man.
Yep, that's what that was. All right. So question number 4. Number 1 seeds are 135-1 in the opening round of the tournament. Who is the only 16 seed to knock off a 1 seed?
Oh, I feel like I know who it is. Is it the was it just a couple years ago?
Yeah, it was recent.
Oh, I know this answer. It's like the
It was 2018, I think.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like the golden something, some sort of animal, bears or something, right? I know it, dude. I know it because they had all this hype. They beat them. It was all over Sports Center. They were going crazy, and then they got like blown out by 30 in the next game. It's like something like the golden.
Extra kudos if you know what their acronym is, what it stands for.
I don't, man, but it's like the golden something, some sort of bears or badgers or something.
It was UMBC.
Okay, and it was?
Yeah, University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Okay, and what was their, like, or that's just who they were? They weren't like...
Oh, I don't know what their mascot is.
Okay.
They're not important enough for me to know that much. Yeah. That's them right there on the screen. That's University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Exactly, because I remember the yellow, and I just remember them going insane, and they were like, it's the first time a 1 seed's ever lost. So I was slightly prepared. You know that one time I was watching Sports Center when college basketball was on? Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. I like it. Okay, I have to.
See, I've been killing you on this one.
UMBC basket. Retrievers. See, I told y'all it was some type of animal. Retriever is a dog.
Okay.
Give me some credit.
We got 2 more questions. We're going to see what you do.
Here we go, bro. I'm heating up now.
I'm confident you'll get one of them, even if you guess.
I'm heating up now.
Next question. Who is the only coach to win both an NCAA and NBA championship?
Oh, hell. The only coach to ever win in college and in the... Okay, I feel like I know it because I know it's like... I'm sure it's like a common household name. Everyone's probably screaming right now in the chat. Current NBA coach.
I don't think anybody in the chat knows.
Also won in college. Hell, I don't. Greg Popovich, I guess. I don't know. That's like my best guess just because I don't know, man.
Larry Brown.
Oh, okay. And who did he coach for in college?
Larry Brown won a national championship as the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks in 1988.
Larry Brown.
And then he won as the head coach of the Detroit Pistons in 2004.
Okay.
Larry Brown is still, to this day, the only head coach to win championships in both the NCAA and the NBA.
I'm here for it.
Take that little nugget with you.
Take it to the bank.
Absolutely. So I'm killing Adam on this segment today.
Hey, man, it's all good. We're bringing knowledge away from it. Don't run away from your mistakes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. I got one more gem for you. I think he's going to get this one. And I'm pretty sure y'all in the petty world, out there in the chat room, y'all should be able to at least guess this one.
It's going to be the question of a school, like the color of a school that I have no idea, but it's going to be a color.
Oh, no. It's easier than a color. Easier than a color.
Okay, here we go. I have to get it right.
Only one school has hoisted both the men's and women's titles at the same time.
UConn.
You said I couldn't even get the question all the way out where you got that one.
Let's go. I knew it was UConn. Let's go. Yeah, you were so right. Yeah, because didn't they go like 17 years undefeated or something?
Yeah, the women were just outlandish.
Like nobody could touch them because like literally like everyone else, UConn. Like for the men's, it was like UConn. And then like, because I remember the Shabazz Napier days. God, I wish he would have done more in the NBA. But like he balled out that year. But yeah, because it was the Shabazz Napier year that UConn won as well.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're like 1 for 6. What's that in the school?
University of Connecticut did it twice. They're the only school to do it, and they did it 2 times.
Yeah.
2004 and 2014.
Yep. I remember that specifically. Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm glad I got that. Yep. So what, I got like an 18 on the test? What's the average?
What, I think you were like 2 for 6?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're a little up there. If you want to give me a little bit of that one for the golden something, the retrievers, the dogs, Golden State dogs. That's what I wanted to say, but I was like, that's not
2 for 6, you 33%. If you were a baseball hitter, you'd be good.
Right.
That's about the only place we could take that percentage and it'd be good.
Love it, man.
Oh, good, man. So that concludes this segment of Fact or Fiction. He did all right. Next time, he got to be better prepared.
Oh, yeah.
But he never knows the question, so it is what it is.
Hey, bring me some NFL next time.
We dig into the archives.
And I'll go 5 or 6. I only missed one. Pull the receipts on that.
Man, we're going to stick with March Madness on this thing. Let's go ahead and just cover the tournament right quick.
Yeah,
y'all know we got the Petty Pool up and running. It's on the Petty Sports page on Facebook. It's on my Facebook page. If you have not made your way to either of them, log into your ESPN.com. Type in Petty Pool. It's the Petty Pool. It's free to join. You get the opportunity to test your knowledge against the Petty Sports panel.
Gotta do it.
And if you win it, you win a free Petty Sports t-shirt.
Yeah, they're comfortable too.
Go ahead and test your knowledge. We got them on. We got the hoodies on. We got the t-shirts on too.
Yes, sir.
Right here. Petty Sports all day. You get you one of those live and direct. So we keep them coming.
The one-on-one.
So, man, the tournament starts tomorrow. We got the 4 play-in games kicking off bright and early. So we got Norfolk State versus Appalachian State.
Ooh.
Wichita State versus Drake. Not the singer, the rapper, the songstress, that guy with Young Money. We talking about the university. We got Michigan, they almost called him Michigan State. Mount St. Mary's. Those acronyms look crazy. Mount St. Mary's versus Texas Southern.
Uh-huh.
And Michigan State versus UCLA. Michigan State is playing tomorrow, though.
Okay.
So now, of these games...
do they sound like a lock against UCLA, though? Oh, no, man, because UCLA, aren't they... They're good, aren't they?
UCLA was decent.
Yeah.
They usually make the tournament. Like, this is probably... Michigan State versus UCLA is probably the most historic play-in game matchup we've ever seen.
Yeah.
You never get 2 massive major programs with major history and national championships to have to play in a play-in game.
Right.
And they're playing each other.
Yep.
So one of these teams isn't even going to make the 64, which would be crazy for either. I mean, it won't be as crazy as the fact that there's no Duke, no Kentucky, no Louisville in this tournament.
Yeah. That blew my mind. They were like, yeah, Duke is out. I was like, for real? Like, we're talking about college basketball, right? Like, that's how I was acting. I was like, dude, they're always in there. That's like Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, Louisville, like Gonzaga, Baylor, UConn. Like, those are the schools. Just to not have Duke, it's definitely shocking.
Duke and Kentucky is like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's your 2 schools that, like, they probably have some of the most clout, in the tournament.
Kentucky has the most NCAA tournament appearances of any school in NCAA history, and the second most championships behind UCLA, who's in a play-in game.
Right.
It's crazy.
Shoo.
So check this out. The number 1 seeds this year are Gonzaga at 26-0, Baylor at 22-2, Michigan at 20-4, and Illinois at 23-6. Now, there's always a history of the NCAA tournament featuring major upsets every year. We always get 12 versus 5 upsets.
Always.
We just discussed the one lone time that a 16 beat a 1. What upsets do you see happening in the first round of this tournament this weekend?
Man, so I was looking at that. You got Rutgers, number 10 Rutgers, and number 7 Clemson. I want to say they're at a -1, so it actually looks like they could have the upset. And people are going to pick Clemson, be in the 7 seed. You're going to want to take it naturally, but I feel like Rutgers could come in there. They just got a little bit of that feeling about them this year. Could come in with the upset and send Clemson home. And what's crazy is some people actually have Rutgers higher than Clemson on their rankings. Which give or take, March Madness is so crazy because you do have to factor in COVID. I was supposed to go shoot video last year at March Madness and it got canceled. So the fact to have it back this year, you're going to have just differences all around coming into the tournament. So, but I think Rutgers could upset Clemson. I really do. I can see that one happening.
I think Rutgers will take out Clemson. That's
they
crazy.
could. They could, man. Seriously. Hey, we're trying to get interesting, though. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get up in here.
Oh, I hear you. I got some different upsets for you. I feel like in the spirit of the 12-5s, I'm taking Georgetown over Colorado.
That's a nice one.
Colorado was 22-8. They look really good going through the Pac-12 tournament. However, Georgetown caught fire in the Big East tournament.
Yep.
They won the conference. And I think that's generally why you get 12-5 upsets. Is the 12 seed, it generally ends up being a conference champion that didn't have a great year. It's like the 12 seed usually isn't bad. So I'm absolutely taking Georgetown over Colorado. And I want a second 12-5 upset. I want Oregon State over Tennessee.
Oh.
Oregon State made it all the way to the Pac-12 championship game. They lost. They were 17-12 this season.
Those guys fly around on Oregon State too, man.
Yeah, like
they
play a different brand of basketball in the Pac. It's been like I got high expectations for Oregon State. I see them taking out Tennessee. I don't really have a whole lot of faith in them.
Yeah. I can see that there. Another one I was looking at, you might think I'm crazy too. I was just speaking highly on UConn, but Maryland over UConn potentially. That's another one of those. It's the 7. You're going to want to take it. It's an easy pick, but both of the games that I mentioned, they could be toss-ups. So however y'all want to take them, it's totally up to you. But I think both of those games could come down to a bucket. Maryland is, they're a team that's hungry. All the teams in this tournament are hungry, but when you have Maryland against UConn, UConn being historically good, they could potentially overhype themselves, just be too much into it, and Maryland could come in for the upset. So I could see one of those happening there as well. Like I said, both of them are a toss-up. It's not going to be guaranteed. This tournament is extremely unprecedented. Nothing last year, so we're going off a couple years ago tape, different players, and that's why I just want to say now ESPN is finessing all of us with filling out these brackets. Like, why do we do it? Like, we know that these brackets are they're gonna bust somewhere. Like with the UMBC, that one was huge. I think that busted like 97% of brackets or something that one year. Like, I remember that. I think they were specifically able to say like less than a few hundred brackets were left in the tournament. Like, it was insane. So take these picks with a grain of salt.
The number 1 overall.
Right. Take these picks with a grain of salt. I'm telling you, don't put your money on my picks because this tournament's crazy. But if Maryland does happen over UConn, at the same time, I did tell you so.
I picked Maryland to beat UConn.
There we go.
After what happened with Juwan Howard, their team is about to be playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
They're going to take UConn out, and then Alabama's going to toast them in the next round.
We'll see, man. We'll see. This tournament is interesting. I'm excited for it, though, because not having March Madness last year, like, there's just something about when basketball brings around the tournament. Like, when the playoffs start for NBA every year, man, I cannot watch a single dribble of the NBA. When the playoffs come around, I'm there. Same thing with March Madness. When it comes around, I am there because I like the competition. I feel like it's different. Like, and that was an interesting thing about the bubble. You kind of felt like it was a tournament style. Like, okay, we're all here. You're not confined in March Madness. You are bouncing around, but you still have the sense of, all right, we're in this tournament. Like, this is the vibe that we're in. So not having that last year and bringing it back, it's definitely something that the fans need. So I'm excited for it. This Final Four is going to be interesting, though. I know that Final Four is something that is a toss-up as of right now, man.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of Final Fours, who do you have coming out in your Final Four?
I hate to be basic, but I am going to take all the 1 seeds. I'm going to be easy this year. I'm going to be easy, and especially since it happened one time, I'm going to take Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, and Illinois. I know Illinois has been making some noise. I heard, didn't they just have like a crazy game or something the other day? I don't remember. It might have been some other Illinois team, but it was like back and forth, and at the last second they were able to win, and I think they like bumped up on their seeding or something. But Illinois, I know, is making some noise this year. Gonzaga is obviously, like, some people have the Zags for the title. I can see the Zags winning the title, but that's the thing is, aren't they always so great, and they always, well, not always fall short, but they're still trying to get there, aren't they, with the Zags? And people are always like, Gonzaga, and then it's like, oh, Gonzaga.
Gonzaga usually ends up running into a high-powered team like a Kentucky
or a Duke or a Kansas.
All the teams that aren't in it.
Right. All the dogs. The reason we watch March Madness. Yeah.
I absolutely have them making the Final Four.
Yeah.
But I don't have all 4 number ones. I like Gonzaga,
Spice it up.
Ohio State, Alabama, and Illinois. I got 2 1s and 2 2s. Think Alabama will come out of the East. They'll take Michigan. Actually, I got LSU beating Michigan later on in the tournament, and Alabama beating LSU again to get to the Final Four. Mm-hmm. And I also got Ohio State taking out Baylor.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. God, man, my roommate loves Ohio State. If they take out Baylor, oh my goodness.
I hate Ohio State, but
she's gonna be going on about it. Man, that's a good upset, though. I mean, not a good upset, but I like the seeding there, rather, man. That would be intense.
If I just made homer picks, which I think I might just put like $15 on this bet. It'll probably make me a couple thousand. Put $15 on UCLA coming from the round of 68 all the way to the championship.
Here we go.
Yep.
Man, this tournament, man, I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see what it's actually going to unfold, because that's the beauty. You never know. Like, there's a science behind March Madness, just because you never know. You're probably going to get the bracket wrong, but you're probably going to want to play for that imaginary $1 million or whatever ESPN is going to give you if you get the right bracket. So, but my March Madness it's going to be lit this year. I'm excited to have it back, because I know it was supposed to have a lot of hype last year. They were trying to work things out, and they called it off. So we're going to make it happen. I'm excited for March Madness. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Are the Zags going to do it, though? Probably
Make sure
not.
You log in and get into the Petty Pool. The Petty Pool is about to be live and well. That's what you want. Enter to win your chance to compete against the Petty Crew, to win your Petty Sports t-shirt. Games start tomorrow. We can't wait. So, man, before we come back, let me just give you a little precursor. We going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend that just retired from the Saints.
Oh,
After
boy.
this very brief commercial break, my main man, Mike Beasy Basden, is about to hit us with the 1s and 2s, hit us with the sponsors. Go ahead, take it away, Bill.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Check. Okay, sorry about
there
that.
we go.
There we go.
We got the man now.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight, watching
Yep.
Petty Sports, man. You know what I'm saying? That Wednesday night edition. Every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. You can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Kingz Broadcasting. Go join the page, like the page, subscribe. So every time we go hot, you know what I'm saying, you can chime in and check these guys out every week. You know what I'm talking about? They go hard. They go in on everything, sports, soccer, football, basketball, you name it, they own it all the time. All right, so thank you for everybody sharing the show. Share it with your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers. Go check us out on all the social media platforms. Like I just said, man, we greatly appreciate that. Go to kingsbroadcasting.com, spend some money, hit that donate button. No donation is too small or too big. You know what I'm saying? Spend some bands over there. You know what I'm talking about? Get your mugs, your hats, your jerseys, your hoodies, all that, man. We got something for you. The tumblers, Petty Sports, Petty Man. We got all kind of stuff over there, man. Support black business, support black business, support black businesses. Cause we do, you know what I'm talking about? ATL, ho. Now back to the regular schedule program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were listening to Petty Sports, the podcast with your boy, the host, Mr. Famous Fact Feez, and my main man, Adam, coming with the heat.
Yes, sir. Man, we about to get into them Saints. It's a hell of an announcement on Sunday, bro. I thought he was coming back. I thought the old man in the swamp was coming back, dude. I really did.
I was pretty sure he wasn't, but Drew Brees officially announced his retirement Sunday afternoon after 20 seasons in the NFL via IG with his kids. It was actually a pretty dope message when they came out, let everybody know that he's done playing so he can spend more time with them. So now we got to ask the one looming question. Is there any doubt that Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
God, no. God, no. There's no question that he's a first ballot. And I know there's going to be names out there. There's going to be stats. There's going to be no Super Bowl, choking in the playoffs, great regular season, no MVP, second place for the MVP 4 times, always fell off when it mattered. But here's the reason why Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer. 6 foot, doubted from the jump, too short, too small, too weak, doesn't have the arm strength. He can only work in a spread offense at Purdue. There's no way he's going to be able to work on an offense in the NFL. So the Chargers come out, they take a chance on him in 2001, get really ballsy actually, and trade the first pick to Atlanta, who then took Michael Vick in the draft. So you just think of what was surrounding Drew so early on in his career, The thing happens with the shoulder, Nick Saban and the doctors, or apparently Nick Saban was saying, we wanted Drew, we wanted to sign him, but the doctors were saying, the shoulder's never going to be the same. That moment in his career, that is what made Drew the Drew Brees that we know. When he bet on himself, when he said, the Chargers are not going to give me this money. They're not going to just sit here and give me this disrespectful money when I know what I'm capable of. But at that time, Drew hadn't proved too much. He was coming off the 12 wins, a division title, comeback player of the year, and shouldn't have really been out there when the injury happened. But you look at what New Orleans was. Sean Payton even said in an interview he did not want the job. He wanted to go to the Packers. Got the call from Mickey Loomis and said, yeah, man, you're probably not going to get the job. They're probably going to hire Mike McCarthy, and the rest was history. Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl, the whole 9. But Drew Brees, looking at the Saints, just went 3-13. I mean, people are sleeping in the home stadium. Nothing is going for the city. All hope is lost. Like half of the city is underwater, and he chooses that city to go to after being doubted. So you already can't play football. Now you're going to go to a place on the map that people really only like to go party at. You're going to take them to the NFC title game in your first year, make Sean Payton, and at this time, Sean Payton is not boy genius. He is not the Sean Payton that we have come to know. He is not that dude yet. Guy from the Cowboys, prospect, whatever, prophet of Bill Parcells. He was just a coordinator. Coach of the year in his first year with Drew. Then they come out 3 years later, take the Saints to the highest point of their career, win the Super Bowl, beat Peyton Manning. What a Super Bowl win. Drew hoisting the kid, the whole 9, man. So the fact that Drew took that job on from New Orleans when he easily could have said, hell no. He could have went with the Dolphins. But I think the Dolphins tricked themselves going with Culpepper. Culpepper wasn't garbage, but let's look back on the careers now. So Drew Brees, definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know there's going to be arguments that he's not, but when you look at all of the other options he could have taken, he literally said, I want to put a city on my back. I want to restore faith in a city that I might not know if they could ever even have dependable resources again. He chose to go there. And in the first year was competing for a Super Bowl. Got wiped out by Chicago in Soldier Field, but still, what a career by Drew Brees. I don't want to take the whole segment for it, man, but how do you feel? Do you think Drew is undoubtedly a first ballot Hall of Famer, or are you taking the field?
I think we can attribute 2006 to Reggie Bush.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, God. I'm here for it, bro.
Oh, my God. If any of y'all just know me like that, I love Reggie. I'm a USC fan.
Oh, God, I love Reggie. Give it back to him.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can say bad about Drew when you just start talking about his career. When I come on here and I dump on Drew, it's because you've compared him to Tom.
Right.
That is not a fair debate. If we're just talking about Drew's greatness in a vacuum, he's clearly a first ballot Hall of Famer. But, I mean, let's just put it in some perspective. The man threw for over 80,000 yards and 571 touchdowns, almost 68% completion for his entire career. The dude, like, just look at where he's at. He's 5 times he's thrown for over 5,000 yards.
I think the most 5,000-yard seasons, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's only been like 14 of them in NFL history, and he's got 5 of those.
Right. Dude was slinging when he had no defense.
It's outlandish. But, I mean, look, I'm going to take you to a different place. Look at who actually has gone into the Hall of Fame as a first ballot quarterback. We've got Troy Aikman, John Elway, Brett Favre, better than Favre, Dan Fouts, don't know how the hell he got in first ballot, Jim Kelly, he's clearly better than Jim. He went to 4 Super Bowls in a row, but come on, he's better than Jim. Peyton Manning, no argument. Dan Marino, he's the stat man with no ring. Dan Marino was like the earlier version of Drew Brees.
Literally.
He's got all the stats and the records, and then Drew Brees came and broke them.
Literally.
And he got a ring.
Yep.
So Dan got in first ballot. Joe Montana, no question. Warren Moon is first ballot. Warren Moon is like Drew Brees on the accuracy side of things. One of the most accurate quarterbacks we ever saw play football.
Yep.
Never got a championship. Couldn't get that MVP. But Warren was a beast. Drew Brees is on that same level. If you had to rank them, I don't know too many people that are taking Warren over Drew. He was first ballot. You got Bart Starr, won the first 2 Super Bowls, no question. Roger Staubach, Dallas legend, no question. Johnny Unitas, he got that 1 bowl.
Right.
Just one.
Brees got that record too.
He has a actually losing record as a as a starter.
Right.
Like, Drew's better than him. I mean, Drew is better than Staubach and Starr, too, if we just want to get all the way funky and keep it real. You got Steve Young. Steve Young had that 1 year in 94 when the San Francisco 49ers had the greatest roster, like, probably in the 90s. That roster might have been better than any of the Dallas Cowboy rosters with Aikman, Emmett, and Irvin and all of them.
Right.
I mean, that 94 49ers team was ridiculous. Yeah, it was loaded.
They were disgusting.
So he got his 1 bowl, and he was first ballot. So, I mean, of all of these guys, there's probably only maybe 3 or 4 of them that you'd undoubtedly say are better than Drew Brees. I mean, we just named you, what do I have on my list here? 14 guys.
I was going to say about 13, 14.
Well, I named 13, my bad. 14 because I wrote Drew Brees in too.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
13 first ballot Hall of Famers, and maybe 4 of them are better than Brees. He's absolutely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Before Drew Brees gets in, this list is going to expand because, unfortunately, there's going to be a second Manning to get in first ballot.
Unfortunately.
I mean, I don't think he's actually worthy of it, but his numbers are undeniable, and he's going to do it. He's going to get there.
Right.
I can't deny it on that status. I watched him play. He wasn't a transcendent quarterback, but what he actually accomplished, he's going to get first ballot too. But no, there's no way we can deny Drew Brees' first ballot Hall of Fame status. He's that guy.
Most accurate quarterback ever, man. And just what he faced, like, he wasn't supposed to play after the injury. You know, he was not supposed to play after the shoulder. I mean, yeah, Brees' career is definitely one that will go down in history. Where do you put him all time? Top 10? Or if you're not top 10, that's fine, but where do you put him all time? You think, like, just ballpark, you ain't got to go like, well, this is one, like, where you put him? 9 to 12?
I got him in the
to
6 to 10.
6 to 10 range?
Not top 5, but he's not outside the top 10.
Yeah. I think Drew's floor in a top 10 is like 9, honestly. I mean, you could put him at 10 too, but you just talk about all the great names. You know, I'd have to go through and really hash it out, but I know he's top 10. He'd probably fall in my...
I could take him as high as 6 or 7 right now, but as we progress...
He'll be in my 7 to 9 range. You know, the competition that's coming, I mean, hell, Drew cannot be top 15 all time by the time,
I'm going to end up putting Mahomes and Russell Wilson over him.
Right.
Like, those are 2 that I definitely know are going to end up higher.
Right. I love how you mentioned Russ. There's no Russ without Drew. There's no Kyler without Drew. There's no of these, small quarterbacks without Drew Brees. So what a legend and what a mark he's left on the game of football. And he just dropped a retirement video. Like, he got that thing filmed. like produced, which of course he did. And I love the retirement video from the kids. Like, such a family guy. He that was the only right way to do it, was to get his kids to say it for him, you know? And that's probably a big reason why he retired. He wants to be with his kids now, man. He's going through the injuries, the thumb, now the ribs. Like, man, probably wants to save his body. So NFL's get tougher every day, man.
Most definitely, man. And like, real quick, happy birthday, Graham. Stay off the chat talking about the Falcons and just enjoy your birthday. Have a drink. Get you a Jameson. We'll take a drink for you. I'll get you a sip. Salute. Leave them out of it. It's going to ruin your birthday. So now, with Drew Brees retired and being gone, will the Saints replace Drew Brees with their recently signed quarterback, Jameis Winston, or the $140 million man, Taysom Hill?
So let's debunk that 100. Let's debunk the 140.
Could he say it with a straight face?
Right. Let's debunk the 140. You got me messed up, bro. $1 million man that isn't Taysom Hill. So the way the deal works is it's voidable after the next year. Long story short, I don't want to walk y'all through it and all the money and that. What you really want to know is it's not the true deal. It's not for $140 million. He's not making an average of 35 a year. They can get out of it after next year. Now, here's the thing. I have probably been one of the only Saints fans realistically saying that I think Taysom Hill could be a starter for us. And I know everybody's going to call me crazy. I do think he could be a starter for us. Look at what the tape shows you.
Technically.
Take the 4 games.
I could start.
I'm talking about the actual characteristics. He can throw the football. He's got arm strength. He's got accuracy. He can run. Yeah, I know he's not tapped into the audibles yet, but the guy wants to be there. And here's the thing. Sean Payton took him off waivers from the Green Bay Packers. The Packers picked him up for whatever reason it was, for whatever position it might have been. The guy was on special teams. He came in as special teams for the Saints. This guy was returning punts, wide receiver, tight end, running back. Now we got the chance to be the star. And I know he's been gimmicky, but I would be crazy to sit here and say that he hasn't shown me on the field that he is at least trustable for 8 games as a starter. He at least deserves half of 16 if you don't want to give him the whole. And then you look at Jameis Winston, signing him to the 12 years. It's a lot of potential there. And I'm tired of potential at this point. I have put up with 4 straight heartbreaks from the Saints to where they should have been there. I don't want potential. I want Russell Wilson. I want Deshaun Watson. Like, I want the next dude. You know what I'm saying? If we're being honest, like, I was ready for Brees to go. Hill can do it. We're probably not going to give the nod to him because he's so valuable in so many different positions. But if I had to realistically say who's going to take over for Drew, it's probably Jameis because he sat there. I think Jameis said going to the Saints is like getting a Harvard University quarterback degree or something, sitting behind Drew Brees. So hopefully they've taught Jameis, throw the ball away, live to see another down. You don't always have to force these throws. So we will see, because I'm really not confident, but it's probably going to be Jameis Winston.
A Harvard University quarterback degree is equivalent to you got a year off with pay. That's what you got. You used all your sick leave. Now it's time for you to come back to work.
Right. Only thing you got from Drew was Drew probably just showed you or taught you a lot of knowledge. Unfortunately, you can't get the physical. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's shown you some hip turns and some footwork, but I mean, Drew.
Jameis didn't have any issues throwing the ball. Jameis had an issue with actually seeing the coverage and over trusting his arm.
Right.
And possibly the issue with him and his eyes. He's got the LASIK, so we'll see how that pans out. But Jameis is absolutely going to be a starter. I mean, they're going to continue on exactly the same offense they were running with Drew Brees. They're going to run it with Jameis Winston. They're going to use Taysom Hill the exact same way they were using him. They may implement him a little bit more than what they were using him, but I don't really see the offense changing.
If anything, it's going to scale back.
The offense isn't going to scale back as far as production. It may change in the way it rolls out. I think they'll still be a team that scores a lot of points. They didn't lose weapons. Kamara's still there. Michael Thomas is still there. They restructured his contract.
Yeah, Manny Sanders and Jared Cook is a hit, though, man. And Josh Hill. Like, Josh Hill had been there since 2016, 2017. So now all we have is Adam Troutman. And y'all's want to take Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. That pisses me off. I needed one of them. Yeah. Now we ain't got either one.
But I mean, hey, if the Saints hadn't taken so many hits in free agency just because they were in cap hell, I would say that the Saints actually won't really take a fall. But what's going to happen in lieu of Drew Brees leaving and Jameis taking over, they're not going to be 13-3 again. They'll still be at least a 9-10 win team and make the playoffs. And everyone is going to say that, oh, you see, Drew Brees left, and now they fell off, and they're going to blame it on Jameis, when in all actuality, this is an anomaly year where the entire league took a hit on the cap, and the league just kind of flipped inside out.
Yep.
If you weren't in an extremely advantageous position as far as cap space is concerned, then you lost a lot of your core.
Yeah.
Half the league got gutted. Everybody's available in free agency, and the couple of teams that got money are killing it.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody's available. So, the Saints will be fine. They're not going to go, they're not a Super Bowl contender. They're not going to win that division because clearly Tampa Bay is, they're not even playing with house money. They're playing a different game. It's not even fair what's happening over there.
Yeah, honestly.
But Jameis and Taysom will coexist. They're going to keep both of them. The Taysom deal, to you Falcons fans, they did exactly with Taysom what you tried to do with Matt Ryan, but they did it with a player that's not that important to them. It's because they didn't have to. They just moved cap money and kept the offense intact. The Saints are still better than you. I hate to tell you. I got to be the bearer of bad news. You're still at best the third best team in the division. Maybe last, because Carolina's been doing a few things over there too. If I had to just give you a pick off the top of my head, I'd say the Falcons are probably going to be last place in the division. But it is what it is. I know y'all will claim this is our year, rise up, new coach.
Okay,
new
Cowboys.
whatever,
Okay, Cowboys.
that. Matt, who, whatever. Mac, Jones. Draft somebody. Jesus. Yeah, the Saints will be fine. It's all good. So check it out. We only got about 30 minutes left in this thing. We're going to keep it moving. We got a lot more content to cover, so we got to hit you with them quick. This is what it's going to be. We're going to shift gears all the way back to the NBA, riding on a 6-game win streak. The Atlanta Hawks are on fire.
Yeah, they are.
Trae Young is killing. John Collins is doing his thing. Coach Nate McMillan is 6-0 since taking over as the interim. So my question is, should the Atlanta Hawks stick with Nate McMillan?
Yeah.
There you go. There's my answer. Absolutely,
Right.
because 6-0, their biggest problem, when you just think of the Atlanta Hawks off the top of your head, the biggest problem was these guys can't finish in the fourth quarter. These guys cannot play. They cannot finish out a game. They can't stay confident and know that if they had a lead, that they can win it. And they definitely couldn't come back if you're not able to hold the lead. So, and here's just little numbers here. When they were underneath Lloyd Pierce in the fourth quarter, they were -2 in scoring. They were getting outscored every fourth quarter. There was no doubt about it. Hawks going into the fourth quarter, they were losing. Now under Nate McMillan, 6 games, they're averaging winning in the fourth quarter by double digits. They are doing very well in shooting percentage in the, I almost said the NFL. I'm too obsessed, man. In the NBA. So they're definitely improving under Nate McMillan, but when you break down the Hawks, again, they're a diamond. I know I'm mentioning a diamond a lot, but there's a lot of interesting topics in this show, man, and the Hawks are one of them because, they got potential. They got players. Trae Young, John Collins, Cam Reddish. They got Clint Capella, who's balling. They got Bogey. They got Nathan Knight, who I'm about to mention here in a second. They've got dudes over there. The main problem, with the Hawks is Lloyd Pierce could not coach them. Lloyd Pierce could not coach them. He was never meant for the Hawks. He didn't know how to handle Trae. He didn't know how to handle the young players whatsoever. There were reports that I can't even go talk to coach and he's going to hear what I'm saying. My guy who is going to believe in me to win him a championship. Yes, it's for me as well, but it's my coach. It's my head coach. I got to believe in you. I got to buy into you. The players weren't doing that. They felt like they couldn't talk to him. They were feeling like there was just no relationship between them and Lloyd Pierce. They sold him out a little bit. The locker room was out on him, yeah. And then you bring in a guy like Nate McMillan, who they immediately turn it around in the fourth quarter. And what the Hawks really needed this year is they were dealing with some injuries. They were dealing with a lot of inconsistency, but more than anything, they were lacking that true leadership because think about it. It's not going to come from the talent. There's not going to be any true veteran leadership between Trae Young, who is young. He's a big ego, a ball dominant guy. Maybe not a big ego, but that's his team. He's the ball dominant dominant. He's going to run that offense. Then you've got John Collins, another guy who's not extremely tenured. Like, yeah, you've got Clint Capella, but when you're talking about a true veteran leadership, there wasn't one. And Trae Young said it perfectly when they brought in Nate McMillan. He was, and I was I was making fun of him. He was talking about, oh yeah, it's going to be cool. He's a really respectable guy. I'm excited to play for him, but the energy wasn't there, but the energy is obviously showed on the court. Nate McMillan has been respectable in the NBA. He is winning these games for the Hawks, and the culture's changing fast. That was the problem, is the culture was not there. Nate McMillan comes in. He's been in the NBA for so long, and he said, this needs to fix, that needs to fix, and we're going to make that happen, and they haven't lost a game. So there we go, man. The Hawks are looking good.
In 5 years, they've been on a streak like this.
There you go. First time since February that they've been, I think, close to the 500 mark. I mean, it's been a minute, man. They've been struggling for a while this season.
So, let me play devil's advocate, because, all these things sound great. It's a Cinderella story. They're right now sitting in the number 7 spot in the Eastern Conference, and everything is looking great.
And it is only 6 games in.
We're going to crown them. No, we're not going to crown them. Let me bring you back down to earth for all the Hawks fans. I hate to be this guy, but in this 6-game win streak, you beat Miami, Orlando, Toronto, Sacramento, Cleveland, and Houston. Miami is the only team of the 6 that you played that are even remotely paced to actually do anything in the playoffs. Those other 5 teams are at the bottom of each conference. Orlando, Toronto, Sacramento, Cleveland, and Houston are garbage. They're
trash.
They're on nasty losing streaks.
Yeah,
Houston's lost like 14 games in a row.
Nah, bro, I think it's about to go to 17.
Are we really excited that you beat Houston?
Right.
Cleveland, Orlando, they're at the bottom. Cleveland, Orlando, and Toronto all right next to each other. Sacramento, Houston, sitting at the bottom. What I will say is I want to see your next 7 games, what you do.
Right.
Coming up, because I say next 7 because the next game is against OKC, and they're garbage too.
Rattle them off.
After OKC, you got the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Suns. What are you going to do against them? There is a game against Sacramento in the middle. That's why I didn't name them. But
I'm optimistic they'll win 2 of those.
5 of those 6 games, that will show us what the Hawks actually are doing. Because just as quickly as you're going to go on what this will probably be a 7-game win streak after you beat OKC, then you're going to run into the gauntlet of who are you? Because we don't know. You beat a bunch of bad teams outside of Miami. So you got 1 good win in 6.
Right.
It's looking great. You're about to go on a stretch where you're going to play some really good basketball teams. You're going to play playoff teams. And we'll see where you stand. In that 6-game stretch from LA to Phoenix, if they can win 4 of those games, even 3. If you go 3-3, I'll be like, okay, you're respectable, and I can come off of this take that this is really just a matter of the schedule being favorable at this very moment.
Right.
And it happening at an advantageous time for Nate McMillan.
Yep.
If Nate can take you through that stretch and you be 500 or better, then I'll give you credit. Until then, can't do it. I can't do it.
I feel you, man. The reason I want to give credit is because when you see a team struggling, like you can't even hold a 4th quarter lead to the point where the NBA is a stars league. You like superstars run the league. There's no question about that. If you got a star, you're going to be somewhat relevant. Or even if you're trash, you're still going to be talked about, So if your stars, if your biggest players are not in on you, if the locker room is out, because the NBA is also an ego league. If your locker room is out, if you don't have control of your players, it's not meant for you. So the fact that they're able to get some of that control back and just, you got to start somewhere, man. Even if they're scraping up the bottom, they're starting somewhere. So I would like to think, we'll put it there, I would like to think that the Hawks should keep McMillan. But with those teams they have coming up, like you said, most of those teams are going at a bare minimum 2nd round. They're at least going to the 2nd round of the playoffs. So we'll see what they're made of.
Yeah, so we'll see what the Hawks do. We're going to keep this thing moving. We're going back to the NFL because I know y'all know NFL free agency has gotten all the way real. We got a brand new segment that y'all have not seen before. It's a special St. Patty's Day segment. We like to call it Gold or Cold.
Yes, sir.
And in this segment, we will run through a couple of NFL teams, let you know what they've done in free agency, and give you our take as to whether their free agent moves should land on the gold side or the cold side.
Yeah, man. Did they strike it or not?
So we're going to see. First team on deck, the Houston Texans. Are they getting gold or coal from you?
They're going to get gold from me because I'm feeling an A for effort here. You're going out and getting you some help on the offensive line. You're going out and getting Mark Ingram, who I think his days are behind him, but I think he still commands the respect of a front seven. He could still bust you up the middle. Like, let's not forget that he had a very good 9-year tenure with New Orleans. And one thing on him real quick, I think it's funny. One of the quotes he said is, I want to win the Super Bowl. I want to win the expletive Super Bowl. I'll keep us friendly here, but he's dropping F-bombs and all that. And then you go to the Ravens, not even doing anything or getting bounced out rather, when you should be running to the Super Bowl like people thought. And then you're losing again to the Bills, which was a closer game, but Mark Ingram still has something left in the tank. I know they went and added some linebackers as well. You got notably Shaq Lawson, who's coming over there. He's going to be a force because that defense was bad. I think it was third worst overall in the league. Awful in passing. Awful in rushing defense. So, and to know that, they're kind of trying to build a new offense as well because they've still got Brandon Cooks. They still got Randall Cobb. I think they had was that a Marvin Jones deal? No, not Marvin Jones.
Jacksonville.
I think they brought in some receiver. I'm not sure though, but they're trying to kind of mold
Andre Roberts.
There you go, Andre Roberts. They brought in someone new there, so they're trying to get somewhat of a receiving core. I know they got Tyrod Taylor as well because Deshaun Watson's not going to be there. He is not going to be there. So I'm going to give them a gold for their effort, but realistically, the season next year, who knows? The Texans could shock us and maybe they'll win 7 or 8 games. Not counting on it, but they're trying to give us the effort and showing us that they want to do it. So clap it up for the Texans. I'll give you some gold on this one.
Now, I'm giving them coal all day. The Houston Texans are getting coal from me. You let J.J. Watt go. You got rid of Benardrick McKinney. Let him go to Miami. Got rid of Mark Fields, Greg Manson. For the all that don't know who that is, that's their starting center. You let him go. You let Davin Bellamy go. So you lost 2 edge rushers, a corner, your center, and a linebacker. Deshaun Watson is not going to play for you. Whether you trade him is up in the air. Most teams can't afford him. They can't give you what you're asking for him. He's not going to leave. He's more than likely going to end up holding out and sitting out. Oh. So you're going to go with Tyrod Taylor, who is proven to be a formidable quarterback, but he's been shafted at every stop that he's been at as a stopgap guy.
Every single one.
He's actually played well, but you're not giving him much to work with. You brought in Mark Ingram. Andre Roberts is nobody.
I think Mark Ingram is fair. I think Mark Ingram is very fair.
You're going to have Mark Ingram looking at 8 in the box.
Right, yeah.
Mark Ingram played with Drew Brees and a barrage of wide receivers where he had free running lanes.
Yep.
And then he went to Baltimore playing with Lamar where you had to worry more about the quarterback than the running back. So he also had running lanes. Running the ball in Houston, 8 in the box. Every play, every week. He's not gonna eat there.
Yeah,
it's gonna look like it did when Le'Veon Bell went to the Jets.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all that patience stuff don't work when ain't no wide receivers and no quarterback.
Right.
It's different when you go to a team where they're counting on you to be the workhorse.
Yep.
He's not that kind of guy. You did pick up Marcus Cannon as your right tackle, but he opted out last season. They got him from the Patriots, but they gave up a lot for him. They gave up 3 pick swaps. In the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, you swapped your picks with New England.
Yep.
Houston was picking really high because they had a terrible season. Now you gave up those picks, and now you're swapping those picks with New England in each one of those rounds. You got Shaq Lawson and Cannon. I don't really see this turning over. I think the Houston Texans are going to have another season where they win 4, maybe 5 games tops. They'll be bad.
He said they'll be bad.
Give them all the coal you got. That's what it is.
There it is. All for them. That's
Next
tough,
team,
dude.
Jacksonville Jaguars. What grade they get? Well, not even what grade. Are they getting the pot of gold? Or are they getting the coal?
See, I'm an optimistic guy, and I felt like I was doing gold for a lot of people. And I am going to give gold to Jacksonville because they pick up Shaq Griffin. You got Carlos Hyde coming in, Marvin Jones, Malcolm Brown. They're going to be drafting Trevor Lawrence. I know that wasn't the free agency move, but they're bringing in guys. You've got Urban Meyer. You're trying to build a different culture because when you got guys like Jalen Ramsey saying, the best day of my life was when I got released from Jacksonville. You got Yannick Ngakoue heading out of there. You just got guys that you literally went from Saxonville to the first overall pick in Trevor Lawrence in a matter of seasons. When you're bringing in a guy like Shaq Griffin, who's one of the quicker corners who can actually cover pretty well in the NFL, I think he's a respectable guy. He's one of my favorite corners to watch. Carlos Hyde might not be able to stay extremely healthy, but you're bringing in, here we go again, we're bringing in a lot of potential for Jacksonville. So if they do fall short, you can't say that they didn't have at least B players because looking at these guys, I think these are at least all B players. Trevor Lawrence is an A+ in everybody's eyes because he's going to be the #1 overall pick. I'm going to give gold to Jacksonville because they're trying to push for players. They're at least reaching out to potential. They're not signing guys as, practice squad and, no offense to these guys, but, Des Bryants and Jimmy Grahams of the world. Like, no, they're signing guys that have been in the league, have been still putting up numbers. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to give gold to them.
I mean, I agree with you on that one. I'm actually going to give Jacksonville gold just for the same reasons. They picked up Marvin Jones. I mean, you got a very formidable weapon at wide receiver. You also have Dede Westbrook, DJ Shark, and Chenault, who you drafted last year.
That's really underrated receiving core. They've got underrated.
Very decent weapons at wide receiver. They're bringing in Trevor Lawrence. You got the new head coach in Urban Meyer, who should be a savant as far as picking up talent in the NFL draft.
Most cap space.
I mean, you got all these guys, and then you added 4 interior defensive linemen.
Golly.
You picked up Malcolm Brown, Jahai Ward, Tyson Alualu, and Roy Robertson Harrison from Chicago. Then you picked up 2 more corners and 2 safeties. So, I mean, they're really building before they get to the draft. And the fact that they were 1-15 last year, they're playing with house money.
Literally.
If this team wins 4 games,
beat the Colts and did not give a damn afterwards.
They came way up. So, I mean, I think it's definitely gold. This is the makings of them actually building something, not for next year, but maybe for year 2 or 3.
Exactly.
They'll start to really be in the picture. Urban Meyer has time to play with.
Exactly.
They don't have to be good next year.
Right.
But they won't be a 1-win football team.
Nah.
The
I see at least 5 or 6.
Jaguars will be okay. Like you won't be able to look at them and be like, oh, we'll trash them.
Right.
It's kind of going to look like what you saw last year with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
You normally expect to beat them, but you're like, whoa, they're actually not bad. They got a decent receiving core, pretty good running back,
Joe Burrow,
rookie quarterback, new coach.
Yep.
Like they look pretty decent. That's going to look good in a year or 2. I think that's where Jacksonville is right now. Their free agency signings have been very good for them.
Yeah.
Fruitful.
I agree. I totally agree with you, brother.
All right, here's one that we'll touch and we'll get away from quickly. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They're killing it.
Gold or coal?
They're smashing it, bro. They're bathing in gold right now. They have so much gold. They're melting it. They're making blankets out of it. They're showering in it. They're eating it. They're doing everything with it. Like the Bucs are doing a fantastic job right now in free agency. They're bringing back. And here's the thing: they built a super team. They're keeping the super team, re-signing Levante David, re-signing Shaq Barrett, tagging Chris Godwin. Hell, if they keep Antonio Brown, what if they do bring in potentially like another receiver? What if OBJ does want to go to the Bucs? Like there's some talk about that as well. It's not for sure, but there's talks about it. So I got to give gold to the Bucs. And if you're not giving gold, you're a hater. These guys are literally doing everything they can, taking Brady literally virtually off the salary cap. Like we were saying, Feez, like, can we call the NFL and see how that works? Like, how are they taking him off the cap, re-signing Gronk? I'm giving these guys gold. Like I said, if you're not giving them gold, you're a hater or a hater. Like literally, they're doing fantastic. Yeah. They're doing everything that they need to do.
There's no other way to even describe it. I mean, that restructuring was ridiculous. Gave Shaq Barrett a new deal. Shaq decided to take a team-friendly deal because he wants to run it back. He's like, hey, you can get a couple million more per year, or you can put another ring on your finger potentially. I mean, he's going to be like a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year next year.
Yep.
I mean, you brought back Levante David, Jeremiah Ledbetter, Patrick O'Connor, Aaron Stinney at offensive guard.
Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to be better next year. Like, God, dude.
The only thing Tampa has left to do is re-sign Ndamukong Suh, and they pretty much continue their reign of the best defense in the league, which they statistically for the entire season didn't have that last year, but from like after their bye week in week 12,
they were untouchable.
Through the bowl, best defense in the league
they were untouchable
by far, and then their offense actually caught stride.
Yeah.
They don't need to re-sign Leonard Fournette. They can draft somebody.
If they're smart, they'll re-sign Lombardi Lenny, though. If they're smart, they will. He scored in every playoff game.
If he wants money, they don't need him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
they can let him go to Seattle. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, if he wants money, they don't need him because they can.
All they need to do is re-sign Ndamukong Suh and Ryan Suckup.
Yep. Oh,
Get your kicker back.
Wirfs is going to be better next year.
That's it. I mean, Gronk is back.
Best linebacking core in the NFL.
Nobody in the league will touch Antonio Brown. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He's Brady's project. Yeah. Nobody else is even going to consider signing AB.
Tom Brady has the blueprint to Antonio Brown.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to be. Tampa Bay gets gold. It's pretty disgusting. I mean, they'll probably win 14, 15 games next season. Nobody's really looking forward to that. Next team, Arizona Cardinals. Gold or cold with that recent signing?
So I know I was on here a few weeks ago talking about Kyler Murray MVP, maybe the best quarterback, the best team in the division, which is still very possible. But here's the trend I'm not enjoying seeing out of the Cardinals. I don't care what anybody says. The NFL is predominantly run on young talent. Yes, you have your veterans in there to keep the tempers down, to keep the culture right, and to just keep the focus. But the production on the field is coming from young players. You sign a guy like J.J. Watt, you pay him way too much money, in my opinion. You can argue he's on his back nine. Honestly, he hasn't had a reputable season within the past few years. He's had one season of 10-plus sacks in the last 5 years. Everything after that, it's no more than 7.5 or 8. You bring in a guy like A.J. Green, who was literally caught on the sidelines last year saying, trade me. Like, now you're going to question his work ethic. Is he really going to be that guy, that you're looking for? We're not sure about that yet. We don't know if J.J. Watt and A.J. Green are going to be this potential. Again, a lot of potential that Arizona is banking on. You've got a guy in Kyler Murray who's going to be a top quarterback, should be in the NFL next year. Now he's throwing to Christian Kirk, A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins, and Larry Fitzgerald. You probably got Kenyon Drake again. Like, they've got players, but I don't think, and I know it sounds funny to say I don't think I'm enjoying this trend that I'm seeing, because go get you some young talent. Go spend you some money on some young talent. And I know you're bringing in guys that have a lot of potential. And you look at the first few years for A.J. Green, 1,000-yard receiver just about for every year. But he's fallen off. Like, you're watching this guy walk after people, walk past people that just intercepted passes from your quarterback. And you're going to put that on a team with a guy like Kyler Murray, who wants to win now, who's got a lot of talent to win now. You're trying to build even a defense around him. So, oddly enough, man, I'm going to have to go Cole, because they're bringing in some old talent that I feel like is on the back nine or getting to the back nine. Maybe it's just a bridge. Maybe it's just a transition. I'm not sure, but J.J. Watt I was cool with. But you got to think, too much money. A.J. Green, don't remember how much it's for. I think $6 million, I think is how much they're paying him. I don't know if any of it's really guaranteed. So we'll see, man. But old guys with potential, I think you should maybe bet on the draft or go try free agency, get you some young dudes, because I'm not sure how I'm feeling about that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have to agree with you on that, and I'm going to go Cole just because they put all their stock in the players that are washed up.
They're betting on old times.
J.J. Watt may or may not be washed, but Larry Fitzgerald is considering retirement.
Right.
A.J. Green didn't even really play last year. And the great season that Joe Burrow had before he got hurt had nothing to do with A.J.
Nothing.
They have a receiving core that doesn't include him.
Right.
He did nothing last year. All you got is D-Hop and a couple of big names that may or may not even play. Kenyon Drake, he's still on the free agent market. Somebody might scoop him up, so he may not be there. You don't have Patrick Peterson locked down to a contract, and you're going to have to really pay him a lot.
Nope.
So, I mean, you got Chandler Jones, you got J.J. Watt. It looks like your defense might be intact. If you keep everybody you got, the defense should be formidable. But that division that they play in, they're still the last place team in the division as it stands, even with all these signings. Being last in the division, what you won't do is make the playoffs. So, Cole. They're
betting on old talent, man. And I hate to see that, because, like, Kingsbury already got so much slack. He already got so much pushback for the hire. Then you're trading off your one pick to get another one pick in Kyler Murray, who's like the smallest dude ever on the field. The guy can ball, though, so it's interesting. We'll see, man. We'll definitely see.
Last team on the docket, the Tennessee Titans, gold or cold?
So it was tough to put them on him because the Bengals were kind of in the same situation. But you look at Bud Dupree going to the Titans. You got Danico Autry. Then you've also got Janoris Jenkins. Shout out to Jackrabbit coming from the Saints. And we know an issue from Tennessee was pass rush. You know, an issue from Tennessee was consistency on the defense. So I'm split. I'll give them 50%. I'll give them half the pot. They'll also get some lump of coal as well because I think they need to start supplementing some more.
Gold?
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. They're getting some dirty gold. There's some fingerprints on it. They need to clean it off a little bit because Jonnu Smith is out of there. Like, we need to get some more, I feel like, just spice overall on that team. I feel like they're kind of a basic team right now. Like, we know the ball is going in Derrick Henry's belly at least 20 to 23 times a game. You know, now he's off a 2,000-yard season. Derrick Henry's going to see 9 in the box, 9 to 11 in the box next year, every year, because we know this season this guy's coming off of. But to address it with Bud Dupree, Danico Autry, and Janoris Jenkins, I like the moves because they need the attention on the defense, but I'm still kind of split. So I'm on the verge, 50-50.
They had a weak interior rush defense last year. They
Exactly.
didn't do anything to address it.
The interior,
their corners were not bad. Malcolm Butler and Adoree Jackson are an extremely good defensive back unit.
I think Adoree Jackson leaving was tough.
Both of those guys are man-to-man shutdown corners, and you lost them both. They're both in free agency now. You picked up Janoris Jenkins. He's not a substitute for these two guys.
He'll give you 7 or 8 good games.
Bud Dupree is a good pickup, but to lose Butler and Adoree, now you're vulnerable on the outside, and you didn't even pick up anybody to actually create pressure on the front seven. It's Cole all day. You lost Jonnu Smith. You lost Corey Davis.
Yep.
It's not a good look. You're putting everything on Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill.
And A.J. Brown.
Everyone will score 40 points against you all year.
Welcome
Tennessee
to the
Titans they're coming apart.
Yep. It's tough, man.
So, I mean, that does it for our segment of gold and coal. So we're going to keep this thing moving because we only have about a good 8 minutes left in this thing. There's a couple things we want to cover real quick before we get out of here. Most important of these things, heavyweight champion Tyson Furry has inked a 2-fight deal with fellow heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Who's winning this heavyweight titan battle?
I think Tyson Fury is taking some easy money here, man. I don't think he's going to necessarily come out and just smack up on Anthony Joshua, but Tyson Fury is a different kind of fighter. We see how this guy moves in the ring, the swagger that he brings, the confidence that he's got in the ring. Like, he demands respect. He demands greatness. You have to know that he's going to come in there and kick your ass, and I feel like that is a potential thing that could happen with Anthony Joshua, or not, excuse me, is it?
It is.
Okay, I have Fury and Wilder in here. I'm talking about a past fight, man.
He already handled Wilder.
Right. So there you go. He already handled a crazy guy like Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua is a very respectable boxer. I love what he brings to the game. I love the way he carries himself. But Tyson Fury, he's a generational fighter, and he's a guy that's going to come. He's going to be in the ring, and he's going to whoop up on you. So in a way, like I said, I feel like Tyson Fury kind of took some easy money. It's a 2-fight deal, so you can tell he's kind of giving some leeway. Okay, if the first one doesn't go how I want, we're going to give myself a chance to get back in the second one, and maybe he's kind of picking up on that from Anthony Joshua. But we'll see, man. I like it, but I'm taking Fury all day.
Oh, I mean, I'm absolutely taking Tyson Fury in this matchup. I mean, he has a 3-inch reach advantage. He's 6'9". He's longer. He's craftier.
Dude.
He has a better chin. He's a very unorthodox fighter. Like, he just slips and he moves crazy. He's adaptable to whatever it is exactly that you're doing. And he just has that championship arrogance, moxie to him. He comes out in the ring like he knows he's going to beat you and he's going to put on a show.
Exactly.
Like, this dude is different.
He backs up that swagger.
Anthony Joshua ain't got that in him. Right. Anthony Joshua is a textbook boxer. Everything is exactly like you would draw it up. He's got a great physique. He's 6'6", but he fights standard. He's going to come out. He has weak conditioning. He'll get tired after about 6-7 rounds. He has a very questionable chin, as we saw against Anthony Ruiz, who just dropped him. He got knocked out by a mechanic. That dude looks like he sits here and works on the table that we talk from. And you got knocked out, but then we thought, okay, maybe that was an anomaly and he got caught by a crazy blow. No, he came back and he rematched him and he won by decision. You let this dude take you 12 rounds? Like that was disrespectful to even his craft. His record is not indicative of what he's done.
Right.
24-1 with 22 knockouts. His one loss being knocked out by Ruiz, and he got that decision win over Ruiz.
Yep.
I have zero faith in Anthony Joshua. He's been dodging these major fights. He has not wanted to fight Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury
and now
for
he's
quite
got
a few
one.
years. Now he's about to go out there. He's going to get embarrassed. Tyson Fury will knock him out. There won't be a rematch because Anthony Joshua won't take it. That's how I feel about that.
Man.
So we got a few minutes left. We're going to move on from them. Former Dallas Cowboys star wide receiver Dez Bryant claims that he is definitely a Hall of Famer. Is he right?
That's tough for Dez, but he's got a claim because one thing that he did say is no one has ever put up touchdowns like him. You look at the year between 2011 and 2014, he put up 50 touchdowns. It's like 9, 12, 14, 16, well over 1,000 yards each season. One of the most physical guys. But one thing, and I remember this, shout out to my buddy Jeremiah Shuford if you're watching this, man. You always love to talk about the comparisons between Dez Bryant and Calvin Johnson. And I took both of their years. Here's why. Not even here's why. So I took 2011 to 2014 from Calvin, and I took 2011 to 2014 from Dez. The only advantage Dez has, and it is a good margin, he's got him by 9 touchdowns. Calvin's got 41. Dez has 50. But to call yourself a Hall of Famer when you haven't been anything in well over 5 years, you have not been the Dez Bryant that you were. You've had a short stint of your career. So to say you're without question, you're definitely a Hall of Famer. I heard he walked it back at the end of the TMZ interview and saying, okay, maybe if I'm not there, I am close. You look at the best wide receivers in the NFL. You look at Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson. You look at the GOATs that are up there. But one thing I will argue is with only 4 really crazy years, not necessarily going off on the other ones, he is 36th all time in passing, in receiving touchdowns. But he is I think it's 122nd in yards. Yep. And Plaxico Burress has more yards than him. Not a Hall of Famer. You've got other guys who have got more touchdowns than him. Hines Ward, not a Hall of Famer. So now you're bringing in names. I'll give it to him over Burress probably, but Hines Ward, now you're talking about a legend with the Steelers who really engineered some good Super Bowl runs. It's not a Hall of Famer for me. You're a hell of a player, Dez, but I don't think you're a Hall of Famer, bro. You had 4 fantastic years. What have you been since? Dallas moved off of you because of what you turned into after 2014. All respect to you, man. You're not a Hall of Famer.
He's absolutely not a Hall of Famer. And I'm going to tell you why. For all the reasons that Adam named, let me just add some fuel to this fire. Dez Bryant played 199 games. He got 537 receptions for 7,500 yards and 75 touchdowns. He had a 58% catch percentage, which is very average.
He was dropping passes.
He had a ball dropping problem that was even more ridiculous than T.O.'s. He replaced him. He was almost the same guy, but he dropped more and didn't catch as many touchdowns. But he claimed he was that. I mean, he was every bit as the diva T.O. was, but he didn't produce what T.O. produced.
God, yeah, he was.
On no levels. But let me give you a player comparison that'll just eliminate this. This guy that I'm mentioning to you, mind you now, Dez Bryant played 199 games. This guy played 175 games. He had 903 receptions, which is almost 400 more than Dez. 9,900 yards receiving, which is 2,400 yards more than Dez. He had 50 touchdowns, so Dez did get more touchdowns, but he had 70% catch percentage.
Wow.
This guy played 24 less games. It's almost it's a season and a half less.
And the numbers are way up.
Do you know who this guy is that I just gave you numbers for?
You're probably so you're either giving me some legend or you're giving me an average wide receiver one.
Wes Welker.
Okay, well, I miss
Is Wes Welker a Hall of Famer?
I don't know, dude. Wes Welker is very good. You could argue Wes Welker's a Hall of Famer because he was on some of those Patriots runs, and he was a very favorable.
He didn't win any Super Bowls with the Patriots. He was on the undefeated team, and he was there for 2011.
Oh.
He got shipped out to Denver before we won anything again.
Did he win one with Manning?
No.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know. I mean, but wasn't he pretty pretty clutch in the playoffs? Like,
no, he was the reason why we lost.
Oh, geez. All right, never mind. Not a Hall of Famer. I miss Wes, though.
He dropped the pass in the Super Bowl against the Giants in 2011, which would have been able to run the clock out on third down. And then he turned around in 2012 in the playoffs against Baltimore and dropped a third down ball, which we also could have iced the game to go to that Super Bowl against San Francisco.
Yeah, you remember these things.
And then he got shipped out. That's why he ended up playing for the Broncos in 2013 with Manning, and then went to the Super Bowl and got blown out.
Terrible, dude.
Wes Welker had a better career than Dez Bryant. He's not a Hall of Famer. Dez Bryant's not a Hall of Famer. Absolutely not. And on that note, that'll do it for the St. Patrick's Day edition of Petty Sports. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you go on ESPN. Go ahead and put your brackets in on the Petty Pool. It's your boy Famous Feez. One time, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. I'm out, baby.
You already know, man. It was a great one. Great show as always, guys. Be sure to check out What Off Season Sports Pod here next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Y'all already know. Appreciate y'all.
Hey.
That was a fire show, dude. Oh, that was great. I hate to say it, I feel like that might have been the best one, even though Jansen wasn't here. No disrespect to him, but that show was off the top, dude.